The Zone is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means. Are you not entertained? I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time. A night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for. The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready. The fight starts now! How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused. It all comes down to this. With a corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Fight night, only on DAZN.
Folks, we are in beautiful Toronto, Canada, home to Drizzy Drake the 6th. But tonight, we are here for Most Valuable Prospects number 11, a showcase of the brightest stars in the sport of boxing. Lucas Bahdi versus Ryan Racaza in that main event of the evening. And folks, we are inside the beautiful theater at the Grand Casino of Canada Resort. And my name is Wade Lemons, and as always, I am joined by the boys, the legend himself, the man that is a champion across multiple divisions, but a champion in our heart, Nonito Donaire, and a boxing analyst extraordinaire, Dan Canobio. Gentlemen, how does it feel to be north of the border?
It feels cold, but I'm ready to go tonight. I'm ready to go. We got a lot of fights tonight, and I cannot wait.
Yes, it's very cold, but hey, this is so exciting.
It's cold outside, but it's about to heat up in this building because we have a main card, folks, that you will salivate over, starting with a prospect, and we're going to get to why in just a second. Right here in Canada, Tam Thibault taking on Sonia Dreiling in a 6-round middleweight fight. Then Mark Smither from right here in Canada versus Jaime Cuesta. And then in our co-main event, we have a 10-round WBA light flyweight world title. Sarah Bailey, the champion, is taking on the challenger, Christina Navarro. And then once again, that main event, folks, you do not want to miss. Lucas Bahdi versus Ryan Racaza in a 10-round lightweight fight. Dan, I want to come back to you and talk about why there's so much hype. There's so much intrigue around Tam Tebow, not only in the boxing world, but right here in Canada.
I mean, she's the hometown hero. We're talking about a two-time Olympian. And with making her second fight, you would say, oh, this is a prospect, right? But not in women's boxing. In women's boxing, you can rise the ranks. Not when you have the talent of Tam Tebow. See, I wouldn't be shocked if Tam Tebow, in this calendar year, could contend for a title, fight for a world title. She's got the skills, she has the look, and she has the right promoter. MVP is very, very invested in women's boxing. It was a great signing to have her on this roster. Her debut went very well, and we'll see how the second fight goes on the way to becoming a world champion, Anita.
Well, the difference between this fight and the opportunity is, you know, you got the 3 minutes now, you know, as compared to the 2 minutes. And for me, really, women boxers in the gym, they've always sparred 3 minutes. So to them, it doesn't really matter whether it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes. They're actually more at home being at 3 minutes to be able to calm down and see things better. So I think it's good for them.
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, this was something that was very important to Tam, very important to MVP to have those 3 minutes equal to what the men's rounds are being run at. And listen, Sonia Dreiling is not here to play part in just the rise of Tam Tebow. She's here to make her own story, to make her name. Stay tuned on that one as well. But we have to talk about this main event. The reason we're all here, Lucas Bahdi jumped onto the scene, we'll say, not only in the professional boxing ranks, but here at MVP, because he took down the man at MVP, Ashton H2O Silv, and he's made a name for himself since then. Dan, talk to me about the Prince.
It's almost like a rocky moment for Lucas Bahdi. He's down on the cards. He's practically losing every minute of every round of that Silv fight. And he lands a punch from the gods. But you talk to Lucas, he said that was all calculated, and I knew I was going to do that. He knocks out Ashton Silv on a massive card on the Jake Paul Mike Perry show. From that, he fights on Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. You ever heard of that show? That was a very big one. He gets a nice win there. But if you talk to Lucas Bahdi, he'll tell you, yeah, it is great to fight on those big cards, but I want to be a world champion. He's top 10 in all 4 organizations, and tonight he's fighting in front of his hometown fans. But he also has his mind on becoming a world champion, Lenito.
Well, you got a guy like Racaza, but mainly for Bahdi first and foremost. You know, we'll see how his mind thinks, knowing that he's in his hometown. Is he gonna be affected by that, right? And is this the fight that he wants? Is he looking past this guy because he wanted the world championship? That's a question that we have to look at into this fight. But you got a guy like Racaza who
can't look past him.
No, you cannot. I mean, the guy has tremendous power and tremendous record. So, and mainly coming from the Philippines, guess what? Where they're going to go out there and then give it all they got.
Who would know more than this man right here? But we have 2 more members of our team, and I want them to explain how this main event is going to affect whatever happens next for both fighters. Let's send it to Sibley Scholes and Larry Wade.
Oh, thank you, guys. I like that toss that they always give us.
That's always so beautiful.
It's a good team we got here. I will say they're right. It's a little cold.
It's very cold. I haven't seen this much snow in my entire life.
Listen, it's all right. We got you covered. Larry, we've been talking about it. This card, we're going to see some brawls
Well,
tonight.
listen, this is going to be a very competitive match. And I'm going to tell you now, whoever the matchmaker was, he did a great job. It's even fights across the board. If you guys like competitive, great fights, you're going to get a great one tonight.
And just like the guys were mentioning, all these, the card is stacked, but the one we have to tell the folks about right now is the main event. I mean, just look behind us. Look how fierce these guys look. Lucas Bahdi, and then we've got from the Philippines, James Racaza holding it down. What do you think will end up happening in that ring? And also, just give us some background on the guys.
Well, let me start with this. You got 2 guys who both have bricks in their hands. You got one guy and Lucas Bahdi, who was 83% knockout rate. Yes. Now, that's an amazing thing. As you guys saw, he got a knockout of the year just last year against Ashton Silv, H2O. And I did talk to his coach, Steve, and Steve told me that was the plan from the very beginning, to get him comfortable and then in the latter rounds get the knockout. But listen, we can't overlook the fact that we got, Ryan Racaza. He's actually from the Philippines. Listen, historically, the Philippines has had a lot of great champions, starting with Manny Pacquiao, multiple division world champion, also Hall of Famer, and then recently Marlon Tapales, a unified world champion in 2023, who I had the opportunity to work with.
Look at that.
So you can guarantee not only is he going to bring his power, because he has a 73% knockout rate. So if you ask me how this is going to turn out, I'm going to say it's probably going to end up in a knockout.
For sure.
So I'm looking forward to these two guys. But
there's more.
Lucas Bahdi last fight, he showed us he also could box.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would like to see him do more of. Box, and then in between throw power. And if he does that, not only continue to be one of the best that's out there right now, but he even might become a world champion.
Now, talk about how important it is and how much more that means to a fighter who's going into the ring, a lot on the line always, but he's in his hometown. Right. So that makes it that much more special. How much does that weigh on a fighter when they get in that ring?
In some cases, it's great. It motivates you, it lifts you up, and you go in there and you do your best job. But then in some other cases, it's too much pressure to put on a show and show the crowd how good you are. But the real champions understand just to be yourself. So this could be a great thing for him. And I think it will be, because the one thing he has shown us, being on the Mike Tyson card with Jake Paul, that he can handle pressure and he can get it done when the lights are on. So I'm expecting him to do a great job. So I think he's going to do well in his home crowd here.
Is going to be loud for him right here in Toronto. There's so much on the way. Great fight. Stay tuned. I am Sibley Scholes.
And I am Larry Wade.
We'll toss it back to you guys.
I mean, that's just the best team we could ask for here. I love working with all of you guys, but enough of the lovey-dovey stuff. We've talked about Lucas pretty exclusively, and Onita, I wanted to come back to you because this is a two-man fight. Ryan Racaza is not here to just take part. He's here to take over and represent for the Philippines. You've talked to him this week. Tell me about his mindset coming in here.
Well, you know, he is very, very nervous going into it, but because of the fact that this is the chance of a lifetime. So he's willing to do everything, give everything that he has to win this fight, you know. And that's something that I know he's a live fighter going into this fight. He's going to be dangerous. He's going to give it all he's got. You know, there is no more dangerous of a fighter than a guy who has nothing to lose.
Speaking of danger, Dan is 15-0 with 11 knockouts. His style of fighting is a very dangerous style as well, but it does make him a dangerous opponent for Lucas Bahdi.
He's got a lot of knockouts. He's a come-forward fighter. He throws defense as secondary, and that's great for the fans. That's great for us at home. It's great for Lucas Bahdi because he's somewhat of a counter-puncher. And you talk about how Racaza is undefeated. Now, for Lucas Bahdi, this is his third consecutive undefeated opponent. His last three opponents, combined record of 40-0. Iron sharpens iron, right? And he told us, if you talk to Lucas Bahdi anywhere, I saw him in the hotel breakfast area this morning, and he said, I want to be a world champion. I want to fight Gervonta Davis. I want to fight Shakur Stevenson. I want to fight Keyshawn Davis. I want to fight Lomachenko. All the names at lightweight. That's what Lucas Bahdi wants, and it starts tonight.
It does start tonight, but we've said enough about Lucas Bahdi. I think that us talking about it is only going to continue as we go forward in this card, but enough of us for a second. Let's take a look at this and more on Lucas.
Where am I looking?
Totally dialed!
Oh, Tim Hortons coffee, of course, man. It's the Canadian way. I think it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. The Canadian crowd, they come out to support, you know, wherever I fight. So I think now having it here in Toronto, it's going to get everyone very excited, and I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing crowd. This is a big opportunity for Racaza. You know, he's fighting me in my hometown. He gets the opportunity that I got last July to try to steal my thunder. I think I do everything better than him. I think I got the better IQ, the better power, better speed, better timing. I'm going to be winning by knockout for sure.
That was a little hard, wasn't it?
It's exciting. It's exciting because the World Championship fights is my main goal. I'd like Gervonta Davis. I know what it takes to beat Tank. Look, everyone's beatable. Hittable is beatable. I thought Lamont Roach won the fight. I didn't think Tank deserved even a draw, especially with that knee he took. And if Lamont took that knee, that's a knockdown. We're only a couple steps away. So this is a big, big opportunity for me, fighting in my hometown, fighting on DAZN, and fighting under a big umbrella like MVP.
That is our main event. Again, a massive opportunity for both fighters there. But speaking of opportunity, gentlemen, we just had a massive announcement this weekend. Dan Canobio, can you talk to me about how MVP is continuing to move forward in women's boxing?
Should we talk first about Amanda Serrano signing a lifetime contract with MVP? She'll be an ambassador not only for the promotion, but just women's boxing in general. Then we get the announcement, the trilogy. Here we go. Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. They're going to do it July 11th at Madison Square Garden. I was at their first fight. I was at both fights, but I was at that first fight at Madison Square Garden, Nonito.
I was there too.
It was unbelievable. This is their second fight, which was just as good as the first.
Barn burner.
Their first fight was one of the best fight atmospheres I've ever been a part of. But Nonito, this second fight, good. I mean, this stole the show.
Man, listen, the fight in itself, the way they got each other's number, if they mess up somehow, the other one will get it. But this one was a really rough fight. You know, there was a lot of things that were called for. I mean, the toughness that these two women showed has so much more courage, I guess, than a lot of men can ever do.
I'm going to put both of you on the spot. How did you see that second fight going, Dan?
Well, I was doing I was up on the stage and I was watching, and the second fight, I thought it was very close. I mean, both these fights, they've now fought 20 rounds, have been razor thin. So if you like the pressure and you like the power of Amanda Serrano, you're going to lean towards Amanda Serrano. If you like the precision and a little bit more boxing and lower volume, you're going to always side with Katie Taylor in there. But it's hard to go against Amanda Serrano in that third fight because she has that power, and I always prefer power. So we'll
Even
see.
with it being 2-0, you still think?
I think Serrano gets one, and that may see a fourth.
I think we're
maybe a fifth and a sixth and a seventh. We're going to go Pacquiao Marquez here.
There you go. I think, you know, they're just so evenly matched in every way. Serrano being the aggressor and Katie Taylor being more of the boxer, volume puncher.
Yep.
You know, but ultimately they are the best at what they do. But going together, you know, it's someone who makes mistakes that pays for it.
Also an all-female card. Again, MVP's commitment to women's boxing, not just in the main event, throughout the card. I think it's, again, one of the best things that this promotion has done and continued to rise throughout the years. You can't really, I mean, I don't know what matchups are going to be on it, but is there anything that you guys would want to see on that card?
I've heard big. I mean, MVP only knows one way, and that's big. It's on a huge platform, and you have this main event with Serrano and Taylor, and they're going to stack the card.
Yeah.
Think of every big name in women's boxing. They're up for this card. Like, so Clarissa Shields, I'm sure, wants to get on this card, and I'm sure they would like to put her on a card like this.
How about a fellow MVP fighter, Shadeja Green?
Shadeja Green, world titleist Shadeja Green would like to get on this card, and she's, you know, potentially talking to Shields. I see them chatting on Twitter all day long. So, I mean, the sky's the limit when it comes to a card like this. It's revolutionary for women's boxing in a time where I feel like women's boxing is starting to get forgotten about a little bit. So on July 11th at MSG, we're going to see a full women's card headlined by two Hall of Famers.
Can't wait for that one, obviously, in New York. Nonito, anything else you want to see on that card? Anything that you would like to see? Are you going to be there? I know Dan probably will.
I live in New York. You can stay with me. You can sleep on the couch?
There you go. I got it.
In.
You know, the most beautiful thing about it is that these women are just on a different level, mindset-wise, and they're just there to perform. And that's why when you see women fights, it's just exciting.
Yeah. Well, just a personal experience. I brought my dad to Paul Tyson, and my dad's favorite fight of the night was Serrano Taylor.
I mean, I heard that from literally everyone. Obviously, everyone was tuning in to see Paul and Tyson, but everyone that was DMing me, like, hey, Dan, you look great. And also they said, Taylor and Serrano stole the show.
Yeah.
They got to fight again. They got her on it back. We heard it, we listened, and now we're getting it again.
The trilogy is here. And speaking of MVP's commitment to women's boxing, Sibley Scholes is standing by with a very special guest.
Oh, that's right. The people need more from that No Love Dove. You are in the building here in Toronto. First of all, how was the trip in? How are we feeling? And what have you been working on?
It was an easy trip. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited for this main event and also the whole card. And we are working on a fight coming up next month and then another one in May. So this year is going to be a busy year.
How do you continue to up your game after each fight? How does the training change, specifically this time around?
So we're actually going to be moving into 6 rounds in my next fight. And the training has gotten definitely more intense and also more action focused, like sitting down on punches and really showing everyone that I have a lot of power that I've been showing, and you know, just working on leveling up, whether it's boxing, power, and conditioning. Everything has just gotten a step up.
Do you watch your past fights and just see yourself? You're smiling about it. So you do. You sit there analyzing everything. Do you ever get in your head about something or get stuck on a way a punch is thrown? That's what you're dreaming about, right?
Yeah, so I watch my fights more than anyone I know. Like, I think I watch them every day after my fights. And every day I'm looking at little things that I could have done better. I mean, sometimes I'm even, like, cringing, like, damn, I didn't do that. That didn't do what I wanted to do. So that gives me a lot of motivation during camp.
What's the best compliment someone's given you so far about your performance in that ring, or just you? How do you feel about yourself right now where you're at?
I feel really confident. I'm impressing myself with every fight. I'm able to listen to my corner really well, and I think that's my favorite compliment is you listen. You're very coachable and you listen very well. Not a lot of people have that, so that's my favorite compliment.
As a brand, you are a brand. You know that. You're building it each and every day. What do you want to see yourself, and how do you want to continue to build that?
I want to see myself, leveling up in and outside of the ring. I wanted, I love doing interviews. I love doing the broadcasting. There's more to me than just boxing, and I want to start branding myself better in that way too.
Well, you can do it right now if you want to say something to the fans who are watching, because you know their eyes are on you right now. Anything you want to say?
I want to say, thank you guys for the support I've gotten so far, and I hope you guys continue to tune in.
We shall. Nat No Love Dove right here. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll see you over there by the ring. Don't leave. All right, back to you guys.
Nat No Love Dove, another prospect amongst many here at Most Valuable Prospects 11. And speaking of all of those prospects, folks, we have an entire card for you guys still to come, starting with our preliminary card. It is about to get going, and it is stacked, ladies and gentlemen. And it starts with an 8-round super welterweight fight between Alex Bray and Victoriano Santillan. Another 8-round super bantamweight fight between Angel Barrientos and Alexander Castellano. And then that prelim main event between Don I. Foreman and Powell Orednik. Folks, you do not want to miss any of these fights. They're all bangers, and they start in just a little bit. But before we get there, one more shot of this beautiful, scenic Toronto, Canada. We'll be right back with our first fight of the night.
This isn't new. This is world-class sport at its peak. Witness football, volleyball, basketball and boxing. The biggest names, the biggest stages.
Brilliant finish!
The best in the world.
Got a lot to celebrate.
Unmissable.
This is off the scale.
This is where you watch.
Written in the stars!
DAZN is the global home of women's sport.
And we are back right here in Toronto, Canada, from the theater at the Great Canadian Casino and Resort. Folks, an entire card still ahead of us, but we have a prelim card that is going to feature some up-and-coming names, some people that are local here to Canada. Dan, talk to me about Canadian boxing and how it is on the rise.
I feel like Lucas Bahdi is the leader right now because of that big-time knockout. But I'm going to switch it up and ask you, Nonito, something. You obviously had to start somewhere. Tell us about your debut and tell us about fighting this early in the night.
Well, for me, it was just sometimes it was swing bouts, Sometimes I'm the first guy, sometimes I'm the last guy. So one of those moments, it sucked at that thing, but that's what you got to start somewhere. But with these guys in Canada here, the momentum, once the momentum starts, like in life, it just keeps rolling. And that's something that you will see around. They have so many. I've talked to a lot of gyms out here, actually. A lot of the kids, I've talked to them, and they're incredible. There's so much talent, and all it is just a little bit of twist in the mindset, and they can create this great era of Canadian boxing. That's what I believe.
It's coming. It's what Lucas told us all week, is Canadian boxing is on the rise. But we're going to start with this first fight. No Canadians in this first one. We have Alex Bray and Victoriano Santillan. This is, again, a prospect fight, but for Alex Bray, we've seen him before. He has been on one of our prospect shows, and he's 8-0, 7 knockouts, big-time puncher in the super welterweight division. What I want to see from him in this fight, and I think you would agree, Nonito, is with those 8 wins, those 7 knockouts, you don't know the level of competition and how it's been in that early rise. This will be maybe his first test. I want to see how he performs.
Well, one thing you get in the prospect is you get the best fight out of the best fighters, So, if he continuously fight for MVPs in these kind of thing, we know that in this fight we give him the best fight, undefeated versus undefeated. So I think that he's fighting the best guys at the moment that he is in that level.
And every time we put on one of these prospect shows, someone jumps off the page.
Right.
Maybe we didn't really see them before the fights, but I can look back at all of it. Bryce Hendry we had. I can see it. Some guys that we put on these cards like Yoenis Tejas, who is now, taking his game to the next level.
The Tank Roach card.
So we're seeing guys be creative at this, and that was the entire goal of Most Valuable Prospects. So maybe that is the case for Alex Bray, or maybe his opponent, Victoriano Santillan.
Yeah, Santillan, the thing that jumps out at me is this is his 22nd fight. He's had 22 fights. This is his 23rd fight.
Wow.
And you look over at Alex Bray, he only has 7 or 8 fights. So obviously the experience is on the side of Santillan. But wait, I couldn't agree more with you in terms of MVP Prospect Series being a feeder system. Like, you have to show out on every level. First fight of the night, it's still bright light out here. It doesn't matter. Because if you win tonight, you'll come back. And if you put on a great performance, you might inch your way up to the main event of the prelims. Next thing you know, you're on the main card. Next thing you know, you're fighting on a Jake Paul mega card. I mean, that's the road. And I think why MVP has been able to have such success is because you can see the trajectory right then and there.
I mean, we've seen it from A-side fighters like we talked about with Yoenis. We've seen it from B-side fighters that became A-side fighters with Julian Quiet Storm Smith. Again,
my favorite story.
One of our favorite stories.
That was the best fight.
I mean, this guy went from relative unknown, a B-side, legally deaf Julian Quiet Storm Smith, and then he's going on and knocking off contenders. I mean, he had the upset of the year, in my opinion, in 2023, and he follows it up with wins over Ergashev, and that guy is just a prime example of what MVP prospects could do. So if you're tuning in right now, I mean, look at some of these fighters tonight, because you might see them on your screens real soon.
It doesn't matter where you start, it's where you go, and I think that's the direction that all the fighters on this card and many others are going right now. A lot going on in the world of boxing at this moment. Some shakeups, some things being handshakes done, and partnerships, some leagues happening. Dan, you're covering all this at all times. Just tell me what your feel of the entire sport is right now.
All right, guys, sit down. We're going to have to go through a lot right now. No, there is a lot going on in the world of boxing. I mean, if you're following the sport, it's more than just like the actual fights. It's a soap opera. It's drama, Nonito. We're talking backs, these behind-the-scenes deals. We're talking the Saudi Arabian influence, of course. We're talking about Dana White now stepping into boxing, MVP and PBC and Matchroom all figuring out where they got to go. I mean, if you follow the sport for boxing, you're getting that too. If you follow it for the soap opera and the drama and the business side of things, you're getting that as well. So it's a little bit of everything right now. I'm just sitting back trying to take it all in and figure out, the next move for everybody.
Yeah, where's this train going? Nonito is a fighter, and as a made fighter, let's be honest, one of the greatest of all time. When you look at this whole trajectory, how do you see it from the fighter's perspective of where do I go here? What's going on? What's the next move for some of those guys?
For me as a fighter, we don't really think about all of that stuff because for us, we just train, fight, get the fight. We don't do the negotiation and all of that stuff. So for us, it's good that we have a fight. It's good that we're getting paid a little bit more or whatever it may be. In our mind is the fight game. That's it. We don't care too much about all the other stuff behind it.
I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the fact that, yes, all this craziness is happening, and right in the midst of it is MVP's co-founder Jake Paul. Right in the middle of all of that, we see a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez. Doesn't go his way. How do you think he lines up in this whole trajectory?
I mean, Jake is the man. He's the money man. I mean, he is a money man. There's no doubt about it. When that Canelo Alvarez, those were rumors, but there was some serious moves being made for Jake to fight Canelo. So when Canelo was looking at a fight with Jake Paul, that to me says this guy is for real when it comes to generating dollars. This is boxing is a business before it is a sport, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to it, there's not that the amount of American stars is kind of dwindling in the sport of boxing, but Jake is one of them. Gervonta Davis is one of them. Canelo Alvarez, for the most part, when he fights in the U.S., is one of them as well. So, it's up to the MVPs. It's up to a lot of the promotions here in the States to generate the next star and potentially fight on Jake Paul card. But when it comes to Jake, sky's the limit. I am not doubting this guy anymore. I'm not doubting who he could potentially fight, because when you're being rumored with Canelo Alvarez, that's the Super Bowl.
That is. You get the best fighting the best now. For him, he is the guy that everybody want to fight. As you can see, everybody's calling him out.
Have you called him out yet?
I'm going to call him out. Let's go. Come on, bro. I'm right here, right now. Yeah.
You're in the running. Let's go.
But when you did see that, Nonito, what did it make you think? We've seen Jake's opponents in the past. That was quite a leap. Was there any caution being like, wait a second, that's Canelo Alvarez you're talking about. Hold on.
Well, the thing of what I saw in Jake, and this is something that as a fighter looking at him and as a trainer as well, he's improved tremendously. Like, the kid can fight, or the guy can fight. You know, he can fight, and he got power. And that's something that people cannot take away from.
Yeah.
You know, he's dangerous. So that's how it is. It's just plain and simple. Jake Paul is dangerous.
Jake Paul is dangerous, and so is every prospect on this card. Folks, we're going to go to commercial break, but we're coming right back with Bray versus Santillan in our first fight of the night.
What is that? What's your deal?
I don't feel pain.
Come on, really?
Oh my God. I want to save Sherry.
She your girlfriend?
We haven't put a label on anything yet.
Bad week to quit drinking.
You quit drinking?
No, I just mean it would be.
Novocaine.
He doesn't get to just walk in here and take everything I've built.
He has all the power.
I want that.
This isn't new. This is world-class sport at its peak. Witness football, volleyball, basketball and boxing. The biggest names. The biggest stages.
Brilliant finish!
The best in the world.
Got a lot to celebrate.
Unmissable.
This is off the scale.
This is where you watch.
Written in the stars.
DAZN is the global home of women's sport.
Folks, we are back here for Most Valuable Prospects 11 at the Great Canadian Casino and Resort in Toronto. And our first fight is ready to go. The tail of the tape between Alex Bray and Victoriano Santillan. Now, with that being said, let's send it to Dasha Corrette with our fighter introductions.
Making his way to the red corner from Buenos Aires, Argentina, Victoriano Santillan.
Here he comes.
And there he is, Victoriano Santillan. Again, we talked about it, gentlemen, a veteran of the game, looking to play spoiler in this opening matchup. And by the way, how about this setup? Look at that stage.
No, this place is legit, man. This is a giant theater, it's a giant casino. It's brand new.
Yeah.
Most importantly, it's 5 minutes from the airport.
There
Love
we go.
that.
Get in and get out. That might be the name of the game tonight for Santillan. Again, looking to play a little bit of spoiler here, Nonito. You're not paid for how long you're in there. You're paid to get that win.
That's right. That's right. That's what every mindset from anybody from a different country coming in and fighting the A side. It's mostly that mindset of upset.
And his opponent making his way to the blue corner from Melbourne, Florida, Alex Bray.
Alex Bray, 8 wins, 0 losses, and 7 wins by knockout. Rocking the Canadian flag here as he walks in. AB is a dangerous fighter, Dan. And again, being in Melbourne, Florida, he has been around a lot of the same prospects we have seen in that area. And the story is, when he gets into the ring, only one of two things happen. Either the ref stops it or you go to sleep.
I like to hear that. I mean, that's what you want to see in boxing, you know, knockout sell. It's nice to get wins, of course, but when you're on the rise and you're coming up your first 10 fights, you know, it's nice to have that over 90% knockout rate. I can't wait to see Alex Bray and what he's capable of.
We are about to get started with our first fight of the night. I cannot wait.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Most Valuable Prospects 11, live right here in the beautiful Great Canadian Casino Resort. We begin our preliminary bouts with 8 rounds in the super welterweight division. This and all bouts tonight are brought to you by Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian's Most Valuable Promotions in association with United Boxing Promotions, in collaboration with Caribe Royale Orlando and Box Lab Promotions. Sponsored by Celsius, Live Fit, Essential Energy. Fansly, the best 18 and over content creator site. Head on over to fansly.com/MVP to see exclusive content from our events and more of our beautiful ring card models, as well as Caribe Royale Resort Orlando. Let's meet our judges. Introducing Deborah Wong, Eric Marlinsky, and Mark Simmons. Our referee for this bout is David Dunbar. Introducing first, fighting to my left in the red corner, wearing red and gold, with an official weight of 155.6 and a record of 13 victories, 7 defeats, and 2 draws. 8 of those victories by knockout, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, Victoriano Santillán. And his opponent, fighting to my right in the blue corner, wearing black and white, with an official weighing of 155.9 pounds and a record of 8 victories, 7 of those victories by knockout, from Melbourne, Florida, Alex Bray.
Boxers. Gentlemen, we went through the rules earlier in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Belt line is here, there or above will be good. Belt line is there, above is good. Any questions from the corners? Touch gloves now, gentlemen. Come out at the bell. Good luck to you both.
8 rounds of action in the super welterweight division between Alex Bray and Victoriano Santillán. This is our first fight of the night for Most Valuable Prospects number 11. We are underway.
Bray coming out, pumping that jab early.
That was a beautiful jab.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the reach, he's got the height. You better jab. Right, Nonito?
That's an incredible jab that he's showing right now. Quick, speed, and the right distance. One thing I want to see from him is doubling it up. He's just doing a lot of power shots, a lot of power jabs, maybe coming up, down, and then doubling it up a little bit more.
And Nonito, it looks a bit effortless, too. Doesn't look like it's forced out at all. Doesn't look like it takes a ton of energy to go, so you can see 8 rounds of that speed.
I think that's something that he has mastered that was a good lower jab. But I think this is something that he has mastered in his training. You know, the jab is very, very good, very quick, you know, and very precise. Oh, that was a good left hook. That looked like a jab.
Started to throw the jab, feinted it, brought the left hook behind, and again, speed and power with some of these shots from Alex Bray to start the card here as he goes to the body with a left hook.
Yeah, for Bray, this is his second 8-rounder, and you're probably thinking, what does that mean? Like, you work your way up. You start off 4 rounds, and then you get yourself into some 6-rounders. He only fought 1 round in his last fight. He got a first-round stoppage, so he was graduating probably next. I wouldn't say next fight, but you get to 10-rounders, and then you see yourself in 12-round fights.
And Santillán gets his way into the action with a left hook upstairs. Kind of surprised Bray with it, and then a jab to the body as well.
I think Santillán's job is to just go in there and smother and not keep that distance. If he keeps that distance, he will get caught every single time. I mean, what I saw with Bray earlier, that was beautiful with the jab and straight to the body and then hook to the head. You know, just mixing it all up and down just like that. You know, and it's beautiful. Those are beautiful. But for Santillan, he needs to go in there. He needs to pressure him because it's a lot safer for him to be inside to smother Bray's punches. Just like that. Just keep going in there. Make it a fight.
And he's doing, at least trying to do just that. There's a lot of movement right now out of Santillan. Circling around the ring. A lot of effort to get in and get out. I have to think over 8 rounds is going to play a factor. But again, you look at Alex Bray, everything looks so effortless, so smooth.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like he's wasting much energy now.
Yeah, I really love what he's doing, and this all starts with the jab. And with Santillan, as you just touched on, Nonito, he wants to get inside. You know, the smaller fighter has to work on ways to get inside. You're going to be crafty. You're either just going to walk right in, but Bray is not letting him come inside because he is jamming.
I think the power that Bray is showing is discouraging Santillan from coming in. This is why he's stepping back. He's feeling all those power.
That last jab snaps the head back of Santillan, and now Bray looks to go to the body with that liver shot.
That was a beautiful liver shot, too.
Last few seconds here in round 1. It's been all Alex Bray so far.
Well, that was only 2 minutes.
No, 3.
Was that 3?
It sped up on you, Nonito. It crept up on you.
I think you're still jet lagged, man.
No, I thought it was...
No, that was 3.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's going to be 3 all night long, even with Tam Tebow.
It's a nice call. Listen, Nonito's still catching up.
This guy was in Australia. You were all at Vegas. I'm pretty sure I saw you at the tank fight last weekend.
I was.
You're everywhere.
Mr. Worldwide out here.
I think what happened was this fight was very exciting. This kid is very exciting that you forget about time. He was doing the jabs well. Like, it was very, very exciting, and just you were looking forward to what he was going to throw.
What is time anyway?
What is time? Time doesn't exist. My son always says, time doesn't exist, Papa.
There you go.
I'll tell you what, his first jab he threw, I looked over and Nonito had stars in his eyes. That was how impressed you were, so maybe that's a bit of what happened there. But coming into this second round, Nonito, I assume you want to see more of the same from Alex Bray, and then maybe following up with some of that high-level change, variability in the shots.
For Bray, I want to see feints. I want to see double punches of jabs, double jabs, a little bit of feint to get a reaction from Santillan, and then counter from there, because he's not going to open up if you're showing those power every single time.
Nice jab as he steps back there for Bray. And for Santillan, it has to be, again, maybe a bit of an uglier fight right here in the clinch and, you know, getting out where he can, but it's clear at this distance, it's going to be Alex Bray's fight.
I mean, he's making it his fight because he's coming out and establishing I'm taller, I'm longer, and I'm going to jab. But one thing I really like about Bray is that he is not, he's not speeding things up. He's very poised.
He's very calm.
Like, he's not throwing 60, 70 punches around. Maybe he will later on, but you know what? I'm going to come out, throw my jab, and I'm going to follow up with body shots, and I'm going to be in control.
Tries to walk forward here. Bray with a right hand through the guard. Lands flush, and Tien trying to throw some overhands, some shots around the guard, but Bray, once again, nice left hook there from Santillan. Seems to be the shot he wants to go to more and more. He landed it in the first round, looking for it here in the second.
Well, in this kind of fight where it's closer distance, that's Santillan's fight, and that's something that he needs to do, is to get in and cover up and not let that distance be further, because at that area, I mean, he is very susceptible to getting caught with an uppercut from Bray.
Left hook. Bray goes back to the body. I know we talk about this a lot on our prospect shows, Nonito, but you love the body work.
Oh, body works are the most underrated punch. You know, it's the most painful punch. I mean, you can get hit and get knocked out or get dropped and get dizzy, but it's not as painful knowing that you're conscious and you're watching this guy and slipping away from you and you can't breathe.
Ooh, good timing there, too, from Bray.
Great shots, good trade from both fighters there as Santillan lands his own left hook. And Dan, how important is it for a young fighter to work in both levels, in the body, the head?
Well, it's super important because I see a lot of young fighters just focus on head hunting. And if you are in a gym, Nonito, you can attest to this. It's like they teach body work, they teach jabs, and that's what we're seeing from Bray early on.
Fighting this round in the phone booth, gentlemen. No more the distance control with the jab. It's been all right there in that close quarters since the start of the second round here.
You know, I think that with Bray,
great body shot from Alex Bray,
that he can take Santillan's power, and I think
beautiful left hook right there from Santillan.
That was a beautiful one. But this is where he can hit him. You know, if he stays with the jab and be patient, he won't get touched. But this is what he chose to do, and he wants this knockout.
Is that the choice behind it? Is, you know what, I'm just going to walk this guy down. I feel everything, so it's not dangerous for me. I'm going to get into maybe what would be a dangerous area, but for Alex Bray, he doesn't feel that way?
He doesn't feel it at all. I mean, when he got hit early on in the first round, he just kind of smiled. You know, so I don't think he gives this guy any respect for his power at all. But the body shots are very, very dangerous.
Absolutely, and we're 2 rounds in, and I'm looking into the corner of Santien. I'm seeing some big, deep rests. That body work potentially already taking an effect from Alex Bray. And as we head into this 3rd round, you'd have to think there's more of the same as we look back here, Dan.
Yeah, I like what Bray did in round 2. Round 1 was all about the jab and distance. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to go into this phone booth, and I'm going to show you that I can hammer to the body. I'm going to show you that I have a varied offensive attack. That was like an armpit shot. And that was low. So you can show that he can go low and he can go to the armpit as well. So that was Bray showing us a little bit of everything tonight.
I'll tell you what, a better round there. Again, naturally going to happen when you fight in that phone booth for Santien. Some confidence building in that 2nd round.
I will say this, Santien, if Bray's going to fight in that phone booth, I mean, that's what Santien wants.
Right.
So exactly. When you're in that close range, I mean, you got to take advantage of your Santien.
You know, the only thing is that he is he's taller, and those body shots are going to affect him if it lands right, and so you cannot be, or he can't be calm enough or just confident enough to just go in there and think he might not get hit, because if he does that, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt really, really bad.
Can't get too comfortable in there.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you.
You were searching for it. I thought I'd drop that one off for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
There's a nice stiff jab. There's an overhand attempt from Santien, but a nice stiff jab again from Bray, as it looked like he's gotten back to more distance control here in this 3rd round, a little bit more slowing down of the pace, right? And again, I watch this with a young fighter, and you don't necessarily see that a lot, Nonito. Once they turn that dial, it doesn't switch back off, right? So I do like to see, and I think you can attest to this more, a switch of pace. Look at that jab right there.
I mean, see, the thing is, he can stay there. He can stay there using those things that he already knows how to do. It's just managing the distance. So he can, if Santien steps forward, just step back, throw that jab. And then if he steps back, throw that jab coming forward, double it up. He's always going to set him up as compared to just being susceptible to getting hit, because he's giving the guy the opportunity to punch him.
I think the next evolution maybe you'd want to see, look at the body work from both guys there, is potentially turning that defense back into offense. Where we've seen Alex Bray get the high guard up and block some punches with his gloves, or try to slide back away from that offense and not necessarily look to counter behind it. That might be the next step you're looking for here.
That's correct. You know, there's a lot of things that Bray can do, because he's very athletic. You know, and he should try something different every round. This is school season, you know, school time. You know, it's learning time for him. So all he needs to do is just try something different. This is what you do. If you can take control of the fight and you know you can take the punches and it's easy for you, you know what? Experiment with it. Have fun with it. Create something,
beautiful
something
left
that you
hook
never
uppercut
seen, just
there.
like that. You know?
Great left hook, and then the lead hand uppercut from Alex Bray. I was going to say right before that, Dan, that this has been a fairly back and forth 3rd round. Shots like that.
Bray's opening up now, and he's showing something different every round. And for Santien, he's probably like, what the heck is going on right now? Is he going to jab me from distance? Is he going to fight on the inside? And that's another wrinkle, too, when you're that offensively gifted as Bray is.
Look at the feints there. Nonito, you asked for them. There they are.
That's the one I'm looking for, man.
Oh, big left hook there from Alex Bray, and it hurt him. Santien did not like the taste of that left glove across the chin. It goes right back to the body.
Uppercut, too.
Alex Bray opening up big time in this 3rd round.
The difference between this round was Bray is actually using the jab, and then he's coming in with the hook, and then he's coming in with the straight. He's just giving different looks that Santien doesn't know what to expect.
You know, I look at boxing like a book or a movie sometimes, Dan Canobio, and you saw in that 1st round a little bit of a prelude with the jab. You saw a little bit of, this is something that I have in the bag, and it's probably my best trait. In the 2nd round, you saw the inside work from Alex Bray. And in the 3rd round, you see a little bit of that crescendo. You're starting to see him mix them together and put everything into one blend. You have to like that out of a young prospect.
Oh, it's amazing, but I think he should kind of find the hybrid now. You kind of find the blend. So I think he should obviously box and be on the outside.
That shot.
I mean, those shots that he was landing, it was like he had a rangefinder on that left hand. It wasn't more than just a left too, because it was a double-fisted attack. That was a really good round 3. Probably the best round for Bray.
I agree.
Go with round number 4. And if you are Victoriano Santillan, I mean, the game plan is simple, but executing it might not be, because you're seeing a guy in front of you that looks like he has the total package here, Nonito.
Yep. Not only power, not only speed, but just tricky as well. Distance. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's feeling overwhelmed. He's feeling
overhand right there from Santillan. And he goes to the body with the left hand as well. He is still in this fight. Make no mistake about it.
This is where he's got to do damage. I mean, we're getting into the middle rounds. I don't have him winning a single round, Santillan. But if Bray's willing to stand in the inside, that's the moments where Santillan has to hammer to the body, has to try to at least slow down Bray. This is going to turn into a unanimous decision loss, or just a loss in general.
Tries to fire back with a combination to the body there, does Santillan.
That's the only option that Santillan has, is to be coming forward. Keep that hands up, raised, tight, and go in. Push, push, keep pushing. Instead of just staying in front, push, push, push. But he's not doing any of that.
Goes with a nice hook to the body there. And again, Bray just stalks forward behind his jab. Nice left hook there from Santillan. And now he does take that front foot, Nonito.
He's starting to open up here.
Chops to the body with the left hand as well. A great round here for Victoriano Santillan.
He showed us up. You know, like, we're asking for some offense from him, and it looks like Bray, I wouldn't say he's taking the round off, but he's not throwing as many punches as he was in rounds 1 through 3. So Santillan, credit to him, taking advantage of it.
Another combination for Santillan as Bray covers up, and it's like you said, Dan, it doesn't look like the output that we have seen in the first 3 rounds here for Alex Bray. What do you attribute that to, Nonito?
Well, one thing is, if you're constantly using power and you're throwing those hard shots, it tires you out.
Chopping right hand there from Santillan.
What I always say, it's like in baseball, a pitcher. You don't throw 98 every time. You can. There's only a few that can. You got to throw a changeup every once in a while. In boxing, you can't throw every punch with the same force, because your opponent will eventually time it. Not only that, you might gas yourself out. So that will come with experience for Bray, like kind of varying up not only your punch selection, but how hard you throw those punches.
Well, the thing is, you can do it, but you gotta train.
It's gotta be hard. Right combination there.
The right muscles are the fast twitch. If you train those fast twitch,
big shot to the body, right hand, Alex Bray. Just like that, out of nowhere. Uppercut, Alex Bray. We were in a firefight for those 10 seconds, but out of nowhere, you see the lightning quickness he can present, but a very good round for Victoriano Santillan.
I think I'm going to give that one to Santillan. I mean, he just was more active. Bray took that round off. So I want to see how Bray bounces back.
And Nonito, when you're in the corner of an Alex Bray and you're talking to him about this round, what are the adjustments that he needs to make?
Well, again, one thing that he got out of it was the feint. The feint, the different ways of throwing the punches, because the jab is already established.
Big
so
shot.
if you feint the jab, it opens up for every other thing. But because he's letting his distance be compromised, that's why he's getting hit too as well.
Big shots here from both fighters in that 4th round. And again, we talked about, Bray being a younger fighter, this being 8 rounds, potentially looking to keep himself on pace for the 8. As we come into this 5th round, let's see if we see a switch up.
Not only that, but Bray too, he's got an amazing poker face. The guy hasn't shown any sign of I'm in a fight, or I'm down, or I'm up. Is that a good or a bad thing, Nonito?
That's a great thing. That's pretty much what I have. It's just I don't have any emotions.
Big lead right hand right there.
Do you look at your opponent and try to get a read off of their facial, activity? Is that activity?
I just worry about me. That's what I do. All I think about is me. Talk about me.
You're a selfish man, I will say that.
I am a very selfish man.
The life of a fighter.
It comes down
I mean, it's the loneliest sport. It's the individual sport. But I'm just curious if your opponent isn't giving you any tells. It's got to be a little confusing.
I mean, for me, I just go out there and just throw those big shots every time. Hurt the guy. Don't worry about it. If he falls, he falls. I don't pretend or predict that I'm gonna make him fall.
And most likely, your opponents, they hit the canvas.
Right.
If he falls, he falls.
That's right.
The great Nonito Donaire. A little scrappy in this round to start number 5.
Yeah, I really want to see Santillan come out and do what he did in round 4. I think a lot of that also was because of Bray and not throwing punches. It seems Bray's a little more aggressive here in round 4, but that's the beauty of watching these fights play out is, Bray takes round 4 off. How is he going to bounce back?
But that's what I'm saying for me is that earlier when I said he needs to just keep pushing and pushing. I'm not just
Where's the jab?
staying in front, but just push.
Where's the jab?
Physically pushing them, For Bray, he just needs to use those feint, use that jab.
Right hand over the top there from Alex Bray. Looks to go uppercut, and Santillan offers one of his own to the body there. Big uppercut.
Beautiful uppercut.
Alex Bray.
He doesn't have the jab. He can just do that.
Fighting off the ropes. Nice sneaky left hook to the body there from Santillan landed. Another uppercut from Bray. Back and forth we go here. Right hand through the guard from Santillan.
Santillan's getting into a nice little groove here.
Definitely picked up some momentum in that 4th, and he's looking to use it here in round 5.
He's a second-half fighter.
That's what he's going to do.
Right hand off the break there.
If he pushes forward, it'll be a lot easier for him, a lot easier fight for him, or he has more opportunity to win this fight. Pushing him forward rather than stepping back.
Santillan looking to land combinations. Bray walking forward. Left hook has been one of his exclusive weapons here. In this fight, he goes to it again, looks uppercut. There's one thing to obviously high guard and defend and be there. Beautiful lead hand uppercut from Bray, but there's another to take too many punches here as a young fighter. Nonito, are you seeing a little bit of that out of Alex Bray?
I think so. I think, he's just staying in the pocket for too long. I mean, he has all the skills to step back and not get hit at all, not get touched, and time the guy, instead of making it tough for him.
Yeah, it does seem like it's unnecessary damage to maybe, I don't know, prove a point that you can stand in with the guy that wants to come forward. It happens a lot with fighters that otherwise should win a fight going away by staying at that distance, using their jab. And again, it's a teachable moment for sure for a young fighter, but as he goes into this 6th round, this fight, I would say the last couple of rounds has come a lot closer.
Yeah, because he's getting tired. He's allowing the guy to come in and pressing on him instead of just using his jab, keeping that distance, and let the guy reach and then counter. So that's something that he needs to learn going into the next fight or going into his future fight is just because he's getting pressure doesn't mean that he has to stay there and fight in the pocket.
It was great defense there and then return with a lead uppercut. But this is the pressure you were talking about, Nonito, as Santillan continues. And it's pretty impressive. It's been from round 1. He's been trying to just, like you said, push and push forward. It seems as the only lane to victory, and he's trying to capitalize.
That's the only way he has. In terms of skills, talent, everything else, Bray has everything.
You see it there, the feinted jab to the left hook from Bray. Santillan eats it like a pancake with maple syrup here in Canada.
A?
A little A there. Working in the clinch, both fighters here.
There's the jab. That's what Bray's got to get back to. The sword in round 1. He's kind of abandoned it a little bit. I wonder if it's by design, if he's trying to work on some stuff. But you got to win. It's very important to win, so pump that jab.
There it is again as he closes distance. You get the shake of the head no from Santillan, which automatically means yes, it landed. Boxer math there.
That's universal sign of acknowledgement.
There's those feints you were looking for earlier, Nonito. Again, Santillan looking to trap Bray in the corner. And you're starting to see, too, the one shot at a time from Alex Bray. Really both fighters, but the counters are one at a time, and I understand why, because you got a freight train in front of you. But it also interrupts your momentum and makes you kind of play the game that Santillan wants to play.
Yeah. But I think it ended up this way is because he allowed it early on for Santillan to get the momentum to come in and be comfortable going in that direction.
Nice shot to the body there from Santillan. Both gentlemen trade jabs.
For Bray, definitely.
Left hook right there, landed, but Santillan hit the floor there. I don't know if he, I don't know. It looked like it was close. I'll have to look again, but he got super low to the ground.
I know he touched. I don't know if the punch came in first or he went down and touched his knees to the.
We'll have to see it again. We'll have to see it again on replay.
Going up the heels of Kneegate. Javante Davis and Lamont Roach. Is there a replay system here in Toronto?
Like one of the moves I hit in the dance floor. You understand? I was in the club doing that with Dan Canovio.
Stay
the
here,
club.
All you gotta do is stay here. The 1-2, baby.
Yep.
The 1-2.
Oh yeah, no. We gotta do the hitch for me. Yep. Kevin James. 30+ seconds left here in this 6th round of our opening bout of the night. And now you're seeing Santillan start to circle again. I think that this round has been maybe a big difference maker for Alex Bray as he's trying to tee off here.
Those body shots is affecting Santillan.
Big swing and a miss on the counter there. Tried to line up the pole right hand, did Bray, but this round looks like it has turned back in the favor of the young Alex Bray after a surge in rounds 4 and 5 from Santillan as he goes into the ropes. Starting to see a little bit more of the wild overthrows and technique breaking down just a bit from Santillan as he tries to keep up that pace, Nonito. These later rounds are going to show if he had the gas tank to do it or if there's just nothing left.
Well, for both guys, you know, you can see Bray is a little bit tired. You can see him in the corner and he's breathing. But you can tell as well with Santillan that he is feeling those shots and those body shots as well coming from Bray.
Take a look at these replays. A big jab right there from Santillan to catch, again, Alex Bray, who's trying to be a little more defensive in the corner off guard there.
And we are entering uncharted territory for Alex Bray.
Yeah,
first
trying
time.
to look right there. I don't know if we got a good enough look. I don't think he actually did touch the floor there, but again,
he just dropped his.
Shout out to the dance moves. Yeah. To drop it low like that.
Yeah, he did drop it low.
Victoriano Santillan. I mean, listen, Buenos Aires, the man knows how to dance. Here we are in round number 7. Dan, you talked about it, uncharted territory here.
Yeah, for Alex Bray, this is his first time fighting into the 7th round. So we've got to see what it's all about here. Yeah, I saw a little bit of a decline in the punch volume. His mouth is a little bit open here, but as you see, that jab is working.
That double jab.
Triple right there, too.
Nice overhand on the counter there from Santillan.
Yeah, he timed that really nice.
So that's exactly what I'm saying, is that he can set Santillan up if he learns to keep that distance and allow Santillan to reach in, just like he's doing now. Now he's countering him. But that's what he needs to learn to do, is not get there, just keep his distance and allow his opponent to reach.
Santillan comes forward with a big-time combination. Don't think anything landed there, though. Again, the fleet feet of Alex Bray. Big left hook on the return.
Yeah, Santillan's throwing bombs. He's throwing wide shots now.
When you start seeing that, Dan, does that tell you anything about that fighter? Maybe it's going for broke in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of should do that. I kind of wanted to see that earlier on for Santillan, kind of throw caution to the wind. It's easier said than done because, Anito, you would attest to this. You throw those wide shots, you're setting yourself up for counters, and Bray has shown that he can keep it tight with that right hand.
Good head movement there from Santillan as he avoids the left hook and then delivers one of his own. Very nice. And Nonito, would you say here in the 7th round that Santillan does need a stoppage to turn this around, or there's another big right hand?
I think so. I think he is behind enough that he needs a big, maybe a couple knockdowns in there.
Just a minute and change left here in this 7th round. Success for both fighters in this round. And you're right, Dan. Santillan coming forward and trying to deliver some big-time punishing shots.
I like it. I mean, he probably knows he's down on the cards. Throw some shots. I mean, we usually see it like the last 30 seconds of the last round when the guy's losing.
Yeah, so, when they tap.
Yeah, and they start letting their hands fly. So, you know, Santillan's definitely losing this fight, but he's throwing some heavy stuff, man.
Both fighters land big there. I think Bray got the better of it with his uppercut. And Santillan goes into the ropes here.
You know, boxing needs A sides, we need our stars, but we also need B sides. B sides isn't a terrible thing. It's not a derogatory term. When it comes to Victoriano Santillan here, 23, 24 fights, but he's showing Bray some things here. You know, he's giving him rounds. He's sturdy, and from everything I've seen in this sport, like, you will get phone calls.
Obviously impressed our matchmakers here at MVP, and for good reason. He's putting on a great performance in his own right through 7 rounds of this fight, bringing it to the young prospect Alex Bray, and he brings it right back. Look at the end of this round, gentlemen. Oh,
right before the bell.
Big left hook there from Bray at the end of the round. And through 7, Dan, I'm going to come to you. How do you see it?
I have Bray up big. I have Bray winning 6 of the first 7 rounds. I have Santillan, I believe it was the 4th round when Santillan found something there, but he didn't do anything off that. You know, Bray, I wouldn't say is like stepping it up crazy when it comes to the volume. You know, he's definitely winning some of these rounds afterwards, after Santillan got that 4th round in. But it's been all Bray.
It's because of shots like that left hook you saw there. And then again, some punishing straight punches. Nice left hook there from Santillan in the mix-up. That's where he's had most of his success for good reason. And have to go far when you're standing right in front of him, Nonito.
Yep. And I think that's the learning lesson that...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last and final round.
Our final round here in the opening bout of our prelim card between Alex Bray and Victoriano Santillan. We saw in the last round, guys, Santillan is definitely ready to go for broke, so I expect some fireworks here.
Here we go.
He needs.
Well, this and when it comes to Bray, like, this should be the round where you really pump the jab. You're up big on the cards. What's two ways to look at it, actually? Should you just coast to a victory, or should you step on the gas pedal, get a knockout, get back on your flight tomorrow with a KO win?
But that's the thing, is that he can do that at a distance instead of having to fight in the phone booth. Like, again, when Santillan reaches, he can counter him. So stick with those jabs, have Santillan, because he's desperate. Guess what? He's going to reach in, and he's going to throw those big bolo shots, and he's going to open himself up.
2 minutes and change here in round number 8. And you're starting to see the wide shots leave massive openings for Bray, but there's a nice double jab right hand from Santillan. My Spanish isn't great, ladies and gentlemen, but I do hear a fever pitch in the corner of Santillan right now. They are obviously urging him on, imploring him to get this knockout, to turn this tide in this last half round.
Did they say, andale, andale, paipa, andale, andale?
I'll take your word for it, Nonito.
We got some blood on the chest of Santillan. They're coming from the nose.
I was going to say, how hard you got to be hitting the chest for it to start bleeding? That's some Ric Flair stuff.
Come to think of it, I think I'm bleeding in my chest.
Some Ric Flair stuff going on.
That's a Chappelle Show skit for everyone out there.
That's it.
And Bray right back on the jab.
Well, he's doing the former of what I said before. He's going to jab Bray. What I liked about him early on was that he's very patient.
Nice
Do you think he's too patient, Nonito?
Bray?
Yeah.
He just needs to grab those jabs, you know, and allow Santillan to reach in. But when you're constantly jabbing him and landing him, what do? You know, the guy's going to try to do something to throw, like an overhand or a desperation left hook, which opens himself up. So, yes, that's those jabs. You can't stop those jabs, because it sets everything up. One thing that he stopped doing, that he did earlier, was throw to the body. When he threw the jab, he throws a straight to the body, a hook. You know, it was always up and down, but he stopped doing that. That's something that, you know, that kind of disappeared throughout the rounds.
Big clubbing shots. Here we go. Last 10 seconds. I expect a flurry, and we're getting it from Santillan. Bray comes back, and they swing to the bell. That is the end of our first fight on the card, and we got some fireworks in this one, gentlemen.
Good fight. Good learning experience for Bray. Santillan shows that he can go to the distance and he can provide rounds.
Tough guy, Santillan.
Very needed in this sport.
Very true.
And Alex Bray has not changed his face at all. I'm talking about stoicism from start to finish.
You can smile now, man. The fight's over and you won. On my unofficial scorecard, at least.
Like you said, some spit coming out of the mouth there. Like you said, Nonito, it's such a great experience for a young fighter to go through something like this and not just steamroll everybody. I mean, you've had experiences when you were a young prospect that changed your career and shaped what you would become.
You know, this is one of those things that it's either it's going to make you think twice or it's going to make you and develop you into something greater. Yeah. You need fights like this to elevate your style, your way of fighting.
I totally agree with you, and I think we are ready for our official decision. Let's send it into the ring with Dasha Corrett. I think we may still be waiting on
Judge
Dasha.
Deborah Wong scores this bout 76-76. Judge Eric Marlinsky scores this bout 74-78. Judge Mark Simmons scores this bout 73-79. Your winner by majority decision, Alex Bray.
Alex Bray, your winner. Dasha pulling a sneak attack on me there.
Wait a second.
Majority decision, Dan.
Who had this even? Even fight?
Even Steven from our judges.
No. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Listen, if you want to hand me the headset and go wag the finger, by all means.
Here it is. I'm really close to these judges now. Usually, you don't know where they are. I can go ask them, hey, what were you thinking there? Which we never hear from judges, but that was not a fight, an even fight. That was an Alex Bray.
Well, listen, let's send it into Sibley Skulls, who's standing by with our winner, Alex Bray.
That's right. Toronto, we brought it over here. We saw you in Prospects last year. You took it. You got the belt. You came back here. There was a first-round stoppage in that last fight. But now you went the distance. You got this. I know I was reading an article about you. You said that you were going to let your silence speak volumes when you got in this ring on Friday night. How has that helped you? How are you feeling knowing you took it?
I'm feeling good. The opponent was a tough opponent. I mean, he came in the fight. I stayed on the outside, used my jab a lot, and got the win.
For 18 years old, you are so composed. And like you said, the silence took you all the way here to stay and hold the belt. What does it mean to be so young to continue to move forward in this way?
It feels good. You know, a lot of young fighters wish they had this opportunity to fight here, and I got that opportunity, and I'm blessed with this opportunity.
And I know that the live stream, this is real for you now. I know the last fight you were a little disappointed, but I think timing is everything. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm not rushing it. If the time come, it come. I'll let God do it. I'll let God do Him.
You say anything to the fans that you're building out there that are watching you, because everybody's eyes are on you right now?
Yeah, thank y'all for coming. I want to give thanks to God, my promoter, Tony, Canada, everybody that came out to the sport. Thank y'all.
Alex Bray, congratulations.
There is your winner, Alex Bray. I think, needed performance for the young prospect here in our first fight of the night. Learned a lot, got to travel to Canada. What can't you like about that? Getting a win in Canada in his debut up north. You love to see it. But, gentlemen, there's so much going on in the boxing world. We talked about it coming into tonight. And right now, I have to show you guys what was announced officially this week. Major announcement for MVP and their star fighter, Amanda Serrano.
Give me a good, clean fight. Over 2 years after their first fight, we finally get the rematch. It's Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, this time at AT&T Stadium. In the very first round, Serrano lands her patented left hand that sends Taylor crashing into the ropes. Now, Taylor began to find her footing, started landing some of her own blistering combinations. Back and forth, these ladies went. Now, the fight took a turn when Taylor landed a headbutt on Serrano, and unfortunately, the blood came pouring out of Serrano's eye, and unfortunately, this became a big narrative in this fight. Taylor started to land more consistently. She also got a warning for several more headbutts. You can see the blood just pouring out of Serrano's eye. That angered Serrano. They went into a phone booth, and they started landing crazy combinations. This fight took over the night. You put these two ladies in the ring for over 100 rounds, it's always going to look just like this. Just unbelievable stuff from Taylor and Cerrone. Go to the scorecards, and it's Katie Taylor who wins a very close decision, setting up what should be a wild trilogy this summer at Madison Square Garden.
What a fight to relive in that second matchup. And a familiar voice there, Dan Canovio.
I think that was me.
That was you. You talked about that. You got to watch the fight again. We got the trilogy coming up soon. Give me your thoughts.
I mean, this is one of the best trilogies. I think one of the only trilogies when it comes to high-level boxing in the women's division. You got Amanda Serrano looking to get that win against Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor is up 2-0. And I hear some people on social media, well, Katie Taylor is up 2-0. Why is she taking this fight? Because it's prize fighting, folks. There's not many prize fighters in women's boxing, but there are two. It's Katie Taylor and it's Amanda Serrano, and they decide to run it back on a huge platform at Madison Square Garden. It's going to be an electric night, and not only that, too, an historic night. An all-women's card. It's going to be excellent women's boxing. I feel like it's kind of getting forgotten about right now, and it's up to MVP to kind of step in and say, you know what? These ladies throw down, too. I mean, this is some great stuff.
It absolutely is, and let's not act like that fight was, or those fights were, a foregone conclusion. Two highly controversial fights, and with more on Amanda Serrano and the Katie Taylor trilogy, we have two members of our team, Sibley Scholes and Coach Larry Wade.
That's right. Talking about the trilogy, they're back at MSG where it all started. We already know we're giving the people what they want.
Listen,
they want this.
I'm so excited for this fight. Listen, if you guys saw the second fight on the Tyson Paul card, you guys got a great show. They looked at it as actually the biggest fight of the night. That's what everyone was talking about. So you get a third one. Oh, I'm so excited about this one.
How do we feel this is going down? We already, Amanda's vocal about it. She's like, we're going to beast it out in that ring because that's a brawl every single time they meet up. It doesn't matter. They're going to both bring it. But what do you think? How can they top what they've already done so far?
Well, first, let me say this. I thought she won the first fight, right? Mm-hmm. I did. It was that close. I get it. But we're talking about the Queen of Puerto Rico. We're talking about the 4-division world champion. Yes. We're talking about the individual who's held 9 world titles, 9 belts. If she didn't learn anything from that first fight, the first thing she learned was to watch the head, get out of the way, because that caused a cut. And ultimately, is what I think could sway the judges for her to lose. So stay out of the way of the head, stay offline, and I think she has a great chance to do what she always does best, and that's win.
Can I also just say that it's an all-female boxing card?
Amazing.
That makes me so happy. Again, it's so great to talk to these boxers out here. I think that just grows the sport even more to have something like that. So I'm ready for it.
Well, not only that, from what I hear, she's the highest paid female boxer in history now, which is a big thing, which helps raise the sport. I have no idea what Katie's getting, but it's fair to assume she's getting paid a lot.
There's a lot of money.
So she's definitely changing the sport, being pioneers. It's going to be an exciting event.
Absolutely. July 11th, it goes down back where it all started. The
Madison Square Garden.
Yes. You going to be there?
Can I be there? That's the plan.
Yes, the plan is to be there. And y'all at home, make sure you tune her and get over there to MSG. We can't wait.
Exactly.
Katie, Amanda, it's going down again.
The plan is to be there, but tonight you want to be here for our next fight of the evening, an 8-round super bantamweight matchup between Angel Barrientos and Alexander Castellano. Our tail of the tape shows that we have Barrientos with a 4-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. This one's going to be a banger. Stay tuned as we get set for our second fight. Let's throw it to Dasha Corrette with our fighter introductions.
Making his way to the red corner from Tonawanda, New York, Alexander Castellano.
Alexander Castellano, 11-1 with 2 knockouts from Tonawanda, New York, in the United States. Obviously coming in and fighting a tough fight against Angel Barrientos. We've seen Barrientos all over the place, Dan.
Barrientos is very good, very tough. We're going to see what this New York product here in Castellano's all about.
Coming off a unanimous decision victory, looking to make it a second one here tonight.
His opponent making his way to the blue corner from Las Vegas, Nevada, Angel, AK-47, Barriente.
There he is, AK-47. Got a lot of fans in the building tonight. And quite frankly, got a lot of fans around the world. Barrientes has been all over the place on some major cards in his career and looking to not only show out again tonight, but put himself back in that limelight that we've seen him in before, Dan.
You're absolutely right, Wade. He's fought in Tampa, he's fought the Caribe Royale, he's fought in Vegas, he's fought in AT&T Stadium, he's fought the Cosmo, he's fought in Bakersfield, California. He's a well-traveled young man at age 22.
This next bout is set for 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division, brought to you by Celsius, Live Fit, Essential Energy. Fansly, head over to fansly.com/MVP for exclusive event content and more of our beautiful ring card models, as well as Caribe Royale Resort Orlando. Our judges are Alan Davis, Jasper Kujewski, and Martin Dalida. Our referee for this bout is Ian Bridgman. Introducing first, fighting to my left in the red corner, wearing white and gold, with an official weigh-in of 121.6 pounds and a record of 11 victories, 1 defeat, and 2 draws, with 2 of those victories by knockout. From Tonawanda, New York, Alexander Castellano. And his opponent, fighting to my right in the blue corner, wearing black, white, and gray, with an official weigh-in of 122 pounds and a record of 12 victories, 1 defeat, and 7 of those victories by knockout. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Angel, AK-47, Barrientes.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Come out at the bell.
We are all set for our second bout of the evening. 8 rounds in the super bantamweight division between Angel Barrientes and Alexander Castellano. Lock in, folks. This one's set to be a good one. Waiting on that ring bell.
There it is.
It was motioning to us, Dan. I was waiting for you to ring the bell there.
I got
Round
no
one.
bell. I got no bell over here.
I was waiting for him.
I got my mind on the chat. I'm looking at our live chat right now. It's lit, right? Everyone's talking about this fight, talking about the ring girls. They're talking about Amanda Serrano.
Okay, Canobio, you picked that one out.
I'm just monitoring the chat. So everyone that's watching right now on the DAZN YouTube page, what's up?
The difference in height between these guys.
Big difference in height, 4-inch height advantage, and 5-inch reach advantage for Barrientes.
Difference in height, difference in age. Barrientes 22 years old. Castellanos 32 years old.
Nice right hand there on the break for Barrientes.
A really wide stance there from Castellano, Nonito.
Yes, I was just gonna say that he's gonna be
Excuse
very.
me, Barrientes.
Yeah, for Castellanos, really wide as well.
I was going to say it's a wide off.
I was going to say, yeah, it is a wide off, but I think Barrientes got him beat in the wide stance department.
I think because Barrientes is a lot taller than Castellano, but the thing you can see about Barrientes is he steps back, he uses his back foot, that makes it wider. But that's a defensive skills to counter when you have the back foot working and it looks like you're having a wide stand. But when you have guys like Castellano, you know, he's very wide, but he's not moving his head coming forward. You know, being a shorter guy, you gotta kind of lean and move your head back and forth, side to side, to just kind of not be a target.
Right now, that targeted right hand lands on Castellano from AK-47. You're seeing a lot of feints from both fighters here, Nonito. Very cautious start to this fight.
It's chess match right now, right? You know, the good thing is that those feints are really, really going to be a crucial thing if it becomes a chess match. Because you'll never know when that jab, just like what he just did right now, you'll never know when it's going to arrive.
2 stabbing jabs there from AK-47 as he looks to take advantage of that 5-inch reach advantage. Slides out of the way of some attacks there from Castellano. And it's not necessarily the same that we saw in the first fight, but maybe a similar strategy for Castellano, having to close the gap and work inside, being the smaller fighter in the obviously shorter reach as well.
I think that's very what's needed for Castellano to do is get in there. Either do lateral movements like he's doing right now, but you can't be staying in front and get popped in the face, you know. So you have to be feinting, moving side to side, moving your head, and cutting off that distance between the taller guys.
Start to this
good
round.
uppercut for Barrientos.
And it does look like Barrientos is picking his shots right now, not looking to open up too much, but sliding away, being very defensive, and then letting go 1 or 2 at a time to punish Castellano if he makes mistakes. Round 1 in the books there, back and forth round, but Dan, what did you see there? What did you like?
I liked Barrientos' jab. I thought he came out, he was active, he was in and out. You know, we see Dimitri Bivol with that in and out style. I'm not saying Barrientos is at that level, but it's something that it reminded me of, is get in, land your shots, and move out of the way. And I like that from Barrientos. That was a 10-9 round for him to open up this fight.
You know, in this angle, his stands are very, very wide. But looking at it from where I'm at, you know, being a taller guy, it looks like it's a little bit wider. But from that angle that we just saw right now, it was very, very wide.
Covering a lot of ground there, Nonito.
Yes, a lot of ground.
Here we are in round number 2, and you talked about it, Dan. In round 1, you liked the in and out, right? The being able to cover distance, back and forth, big time shots to start the round here for Barrientos. I was just going to say, do you see him getting a little more aggressive in this round? And he answered it before I could even get the question out.
The answer is yes.
Well, I think Castellano is trying to cut down the distance, and that's why it made Barrientos be more aggressive, because Castellano is coming in a little bit more closer, and for him to be able to just land those wider shots.
Nice counter hook to the body there from Barrientos. Really looking to land damage at the start of this second round and back up the shorter fighter. There's a counter right hand there as well as he moves backward.
I think those 1-2 jabs coming from Castellano is a big weapon to beat a guy like Barrientos, because that's just coming right down the middle, as Barrientos needs to go on the outside. But this is good. This is good for Barrientos to see a different look.
There's the 2-1 you were asking for, Nonito. Castellano comes in with the right hand and the jab and a couple of hooks behind it. Big right hand swing there from Barrientos.
You know, Barrientos in Vegas, these guys are the one that spars everybody. You know, they're one of those tough guys, man. They love sparring. They love taking in the challenge. So I expect a lot of improvement every time that I see this guy.
I like that last sequence there. He kind of blocked 2 of the shots with his arm and fired back, Barrientos.
We call that catch and shoot.
Catch and shoot. Something you learn in sparring, especially in Vegas.
That's right. But again, I do like to see a little bit more feint here. Jab to the body, mix it up top to the bottom from Barrientos, from both guys, really.
Lead right hand to the body there from AK-47. Steps out of the way of a wild hook.
Making him pay for that, too.
Yeah.
Castellano swings wide, misses completely. And on top of it, he gets hit with a counter shot.
And Nonito, I know you've been down in Vegas for a while now. Have you crossed paths with this young fighter?
No,
seen him around in the gym?
I've seen him around at the gym, actually. I haven't sparred with them or anything like that yet. But
man said yet.
Yeah, not yet. I actually asked his dad to, the coach to get me in there. You know, if they need some sparring, I offered myself my big left hook
from Barrientos, and Castellanos hurt.
He smells blood in the water here. Got 20 seconds.
He goes right back to it. That was a Ryan Garcia-esque feint to the left hook, and it landed flush, and he's still firing.
Uppercut. See, the beauty about
seconds.
Barrientos right now is he's mixing up different shots, coming in from underneath, coming in from over, coming in from everywhere, and you don't expect that.
That was a big shot from Angel Barrientos there. Are you still keen on sparring him now?
I'm even more excited.
Yeah, I was going to say, that just got him even more amped up to spar.
I'll be there tomorrow.
That was a definitive end to that second round, and you're seeing the corner of Castellano, and he's shaking his head, I know. I think he knows why he got caught, but maybe not exactly where it came from just yet. We see the replay here.
And Castellano hasn't been stopped in his 14 fights. So this is interesting times for him. He got rocked in that round. He didn't exactly see it coming.
Just super short hook there. And again, momentum meeting momentum. He kind of is walking into range there and gets touched with a left hook.
And that's sometimes you got to be focused. Not sometimes, all the time you got to be focused when you're in front of your opponent.
Round number 3 has Castellano shaking the cobwebs of that big shot last round. For Barrientos, again, I think it's just probably more of the same, Nonito, right? You're having so much success, catch countering and keeping distance and then firing back on the counters. And there it goes.
Gloves on the canvas. Wait, what?
The right hand that landed on Castellano.
What do we do? This is a trend in boxing now.
The gloves touch the canvas, but no knockdown, says the referee.
Oh, I saw a punch land.
I saw the punch as well.
And I saw gloves hit the canvas.
What's
going on?
That was the count for me.
Well, you know, we have our 4th member of the team, Coach Larry Wade. Let's check in with him and see what he thinks about this fight.
You guys get a great chance to see a great fight. I talked to the coach, and he said he wanted to take the first couple of rounds just establishing the jab, because this is Barrientos' first 8-round fight. Establish the jab, throw some counters, and up to this point, you've seen that he's dominated, control the round. Oh! And there it goes.
Huge right hand, Coach. Sorry to cut in on you. My goodness. What a right hand, and down goes Castellano.
Mouthpiece out. Mouthpiece out. I'm good. How are you? Put the mouthpiece back in.
Another big-time shot, and we got a minute and 50 seconds left. Barrientos looking to hunt here, Dan.
We just turned Larry Wade into a play-by-play announcer. Barrientos is looking, he smells blood in the water.
I'd like to see an uppercut from Barrientos coming in from underneath. Just like that. That was so close.
My goodness, I felt the wind off that one sitting ringside, but he stays on the attack, and Castellano clinches here.
He's got to clinch. He's got to hold on. He's got a minute 20 here.
But I think that shot just a little bit further, that uppercut.
Found it there, just not enough on it. Left hook from AK-47, and he's letting shots fly.
He's going pop, 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 pop right now.
Is that what it feels like? Is that what it sounds like if you're Castellano?
Everything landing right now. My goodness.
He's taking a beating this round.
Another big right hand. Referee taking a look here.
That's the uppercut you asked for.
Castellano goes southpaw here, which is probably not a great sign.
Body shot. You can hear it from all the way over here.
Another uppercut from Barrientos as he walks Castellano into the corner. Again, Castellano goes southpaw. He eats a right hand for it. Some body work from Barrientos as well. And you have to just appreciate, we talked about it in round 1, these catch counters are so smooth and quick from Barrientos. Every shot upstairs feels like he catches on the glove and there's something right back in Castellano's face.
Credit to Castellano. I mean, there's 10 seconds left. We'll see if he'll survive, but he survives this round after taking big-time punishment.
Oh, another right hand right at the end of the round here, and that one hurt. And another dominant round for Angel Barrientos.
They should take a look at him in the corner.
They will.
Because that was one-sided traffic.
Tough guy.
If you are in that corner right now, Nonito Donaire, you're speaking to your fighter. I mean, is the message even going to be clear at this moment, or is it just survival mode?
It's all survival mode. No matter what you tell him, he's not going to listen. You know, that's just good overhand.
And it was set up with your favorite attack, that jab, Nonito.
That jab, exactly.
Picturesque.
And it just covers the vision just enough to sneak that right hand around the guard. And that's another dominant round. And if you're in the corner of AK-47, everything you're doing is working. How do you get your fighter to not let off the gas here and not get a little bit complacent?
Just calm down. Just use a jab and set up just how he did it the last time. He was able to land those shots instead of being so aggressive. Because when he got aggressive, it didn't do too much for him. But when he was setting it up earlier, that's how he dropped the other guy.
It almost feels counterintuitive, though, doesn't it, Flash? Where you tell your guy, you just dropped him, now just settle down. Just calm down. What do you mean calm down? I can go and stop him. What do you mean?
Right, and I always tell him this. I always tell him this. If you did it the first time, you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Patience, young man.
Nice right hand off the back foot there from Barrientos. And you've seen an uptick here from Castellano moving forward. And I think a little bit of desperation, obviously, in that corner as he starts to come out and throw more volume and try to get on that front foot again.
He's just in a bad spot. I feel like Barrientos has figured out the distance, and now he's just teeing off. But I got to give Castellano a ton of credit. He survived that third round, and he's come out in this fourth round. He's somewhat let his hands go.
Nice short right hand again there from Barrientos.
What makes Castellano so susceptible to getting hit is because he...
big right hand again from Barrientos.
But what I was saying is he leans forward, and that's why he gets hit, and that's exactly how he got hit the last time.
Nice right hand there from Castellano as he makes his way in and tries to land an attack. And the influence, too, right, of that jab. We talked about how it covered the eyes on the last knockdown, but the influence of where it takes Castellano's frame, right? Barrientos throws it out left. Castellano moves back to Barrientos right and then eats a right hand for it, right? It's just all that influence in guiding a fighter where you want him to go.
And because Castellano's doing the same thing over and over, that's why. He's not reacting any type of difference, a different movement. Ooh, that was a good straight.
Yeah, man. Every time Castellano throws something, he's getting countered.
Punishment.
And it's hard shots.
You got to give it to Castellano, though. Yeah. He's a tough guy, man.
Never been stopped in his 14 fights.
Which would be a massive accomplishment again for Angel Barrientos. Again, been on some massive cards in his career, still very young at 22 years old. This would be another way for him to get, again, back in that limelight, that spotlight as Castellano hits the floor again. A little bit of a feet entanglement there.
Yeah, he fought last July. That was Jake Paul and Mike Perry in Tampa. So the undercard picked up a 6-round majority decision over Edwin Rodriguez.
Here he comes on the attack once again as Castellano gets backed into the ropes.
Well, Barrientos definitely has those AK power on his hands. Good jabs.
It hasn't gone anywhere. I know we're in round 4 here, but that power is held up through every single round as he goes to the body with a left hook. Flurry of shots, but again, the punishment is just different from Barrientos when he throws. That left hook had Castellano a little wobbly at the end of the round.
From bell to bell, right? That was just a bell-to-bell beatdown. First second of the round to the very, very last second was all Barrientos.
You do wonder, if you are the referee here, if this is the way this fight is going, how long you continue to let it go this way. We'll see as we enter the second half of this fight. But like you said, Dan, this was one-way traffic throughout the entire round.
He's obviously got power, and that's really impressive. But what I've been most impressed with Barrientos is the timing. Everything is on time. Everything has got a lot of snap behind it as well. It's like a whip, his shots. And it's really impressive. And his patience as well. He had Castellano hurt and down earlier in this fight, and he hasn't really panicked. He just kept with his game plan, and that's impressive.
Castellano still on the stool here. Finally gets up.
He's very stoic too. Yeah. AK-47.
And it's good to see, though, in a young fighter, right? A lot of emotions that can be going into a moment like this. And how many times have we seen young fighters have a big moment and jump and scream and everything comes out, and it's detrimental, right? You see a guy that's just even keel like we've seen here with Barrientos. It's going to serve you better as you continue to rise the ranks.
We also saw it with Alex Bray in our first fight. Young fighter with a lot of poise. We're seeing it here with Barrientos. Now, is that something you're seeing with these fighters? They're very young, but they seem like little wise beyond their years.
Big left hook again from Barrientos.
It's being surrounded by those guys that are very experienced, and they embody those experience from the people around them.
Well, the good ones, right?
The good ones. You got to surround yourself with the good ones.
Nice body shot there from Castellano.
He's fighting, though. You got to give it to Castellano. He has, you know, a big heart to go in there and just getting pounded and still continue to press forward.
Yeah.
Oh, good uppercut. Oh, he is hurt now.
Bad.
God.
He's hurt very bad. And here comes Barrientos teeing off.
Step in, man. Referee's getting a real close look.
Yeah.
That uppercut was vicious. And again, we're seeing wobbly legs from Castellano. He's not recovered in the least bit.
He's on skates right now.
But he's still fighting.
Another
gotta
right
give
hand.
it up to him, man. You know the crazy thing is those shots that got him with the uppercut that he didn't see is the one that really hurt him.
Well, he is fighting back. He's throwing punches back, and the referee, that's the first thing you're going to look at when you have a wounded fighter here, is look at his eyes. He's punching
from the
back.
Jabs, though, Dan.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
goodness.
I'm not saying that they can continue on. They should probably wave this one off. But
yeah,
you know, the first sign you look at is he punching back, and Castellano is doing that.
Last minute and change here in round 5. Castellano has taken some punishment through all 5 of the rounds. Barrientos just continues to pummel his opponent.
But that was a beautiful combination from Barrientos, coming in from the top to the bottom, and then the catch and shoot, man.
Big shots off the break as well. The uppercut from Barrientos, and you're seeing the entire package here. You're seeing the uppercuts, you're seeing the jabs, you're seeing the off speed, and then the heavy shots behind it, Nonito.
Yes, I'm very impressed with Barrientos. You know, AK-47, man, he is someone to watch in the future.
That's how he's firing tonight, fully automatic with his offense.
I'm the sound effect in the background.
Last 10 seconds, another right hand lands. Castellano comes forward again. Nice combination there. That is the end of the round. And again, more of the same, Dan Canobio. Round after round, it just keeps going the way of AK-47.
That could have been a borderline 10-8 round without a knockdown. It was that one-sided for Barrientos. Barrientos doesn't have much of a mark on his face. When you look over to the other corner, that's not the case. His face is all red. Castellano, he's beat up. But I'll tell you this, he's from New York, so he's tough. Even if it's upstate New York, it's still New York. Castellano is one tough customer.
He is. You know, every time he gets hit, he goes, "Are you talking to me?"
But that might be downstate accent. Upstate accent's a little different.
Okay.
But I like where your head's at, Nonito. That's what I would say. If I was getting pummeled like that, I would say that.
I'll tell you who does not like where their head is at, and that's the corner of Castellano. They have to find a way in this round. If this fight is to even come close to turning the tide, Castellano's going to have to find a way to get his head off center line and avoid just these big punches, Nonito.
I agree with that. But the thing is, he's so straightforward that he's right there. He's right there. And he's getting countered every time because when he punches, he doesn't put his head out. He's right there, just like that.
Dude, it's a jab, man.
Big reactions off that jab, too. It's
That's
not just
good.
getting touched. He's getting pummeled with the lead hand, and then it just sets up the sledgehammer of the backhand. And Barrientos looks to throw some big-time damage.
I'm looking over at the corner of Castellano, to my right. I don't see any towel ready to be thrown. I don't see any sign of surrender. I don't know if that's a really good idea.
Well, Dan, you talked about it. Never been stopped. Never been put in that position just yet. Want to let their fighter go out on their shield. I agree with you. Probably not the best idea, but who knows their fighter better than their corner.
It's a balance of go out on your shield versus live to fight another day.
100% agree.
I fall into the latter category. Live to fight another day.
We're talking about a major mouse
wow.
swelling under the left eye.
I see that.
Castellano, don't even know if he can see out of that left eye, and it's from those big-time jabs and also the hooks around that have wobbled him and dropped him a couple times.
The uppercuts as well.
If the corner is not going to come in and stop it, and Castellano's is just brave, and he's going to throw shots. Now with the eye looking like that, I would not be shocked if the doctor now takes a step in at the end of round 6.
I mean, that is a big.
Even the referee can do the same thing.
Correct. He can stop the action and say, let's take a look at this.
I mean, is that enough swelling there to consider a potential orbital fracture?
Yes.
Because that's pretty bad.
And it's not even about the swelling. It's the accumulation throughout this whole fight.
Yeah. Another big left hook
and
there.
And Barrientos is doing his job. He's targeting that eye.
Yeah.
I mean, this is boxing. You don't play boxing. You see a wounded opponent in front of you who has an ailment, exploit it.
jab and a right hand from Barrientos before that exchange. And you're right, Dan, this is just one of the more vicious but real parts of this sport. It's combat. This isn't basketball. This isn't football.
The basketball, you would exploit maybe the right hand of your the right side of your opponent if you're playing defense. But this, he's looking at an eye that's probably a broken orbital.
Yeah, that needs to be taken care of.
Looking like my podcast partner Chris Algieri when he fought Ruslan Provodnikov in 2014. Broken orbital.
That recall from Dan Canobio.
I'm reminded of it almost every day from Chris Algieri. That's when he won his world title.
By the way,
shout out.
Big shouts.
Now he's shot.
Yeah.
His eyes are shut.
Yeah.
And even more recent, Canelo, what he did to Billy Joe Saunders at AT&T Stadium.
Yep. Barrientos with the last few seconds of this 6th round, trying to punish Castellano even more. There's another left
Good
hook.
counter. Oh, he felt that one.
He felt it. He went straight to the eye. There's a jab as well. And that is the end of the round. And Castellano says something there to Barrientos.
Because that eye is getting worse.
But that eye is getting very, very bad. And I think we may have a doctor look at it in between rounds. I mean, we're all looking at it here at the commentary desk.
And they're pressing down. That's got to hurt like hell.
And Inswell trying to press and alleviate some of that swelling, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
It looks like the eye's not fully shut. I'm not a doctor. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn either. So, I mean, he's lost every round. It's not like, it's an even fight. And let's get to the scorecards.
See what happens now. Jab as well again there. I mean,
jab, left hooks, you name it,
It's been clockwork, yeah. It's been rinse and repeat here for Angel Barrientos. And again, as much as we show concern for Castellano here, you do have to commend and really appreciate the work that the young Angel Barrientos has put in this fight. And like you said, Dan, there's no reason to stop.
So there was no doctor that came in to even check it, huh?
Not that I see. I'm going to wave this one off. I'm going to hop in there.
Actually, I do think the doctor took a look. He's sitting down now, but I guess he deemed it okay.
Where's the doctor at?
Right across. I don't know if you can see it over there.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Look at this. Castellano says, you know what? I'm still in this fight, and I'm bringing as much as he can to this. And takes another big right hand there.
Man. And an uppercut as well, Oh, and the left hook, kind of left hook.
All you can do is respect Castellano at this point.
Big heart, man.
Just massive, massive respect to him. But again, Barrientos is throwing at will and landing everything.
And he's going at it right now. He said, you know what he said? He said, forget about it.
Short right hand again.
You guys.
He's trying with these actions.
He's from Buffalo. They're tough up there, too. Buffalo Bills fans.
Castellano trying to work inside here.
Castellano might be one of the toughest fighters I've seen in recent memory.
Big respect, man.
Yeah, huge respect. Because
yes.
he's trying to win the round. He's not surviving. He's standing in range of Barrientos in the 7th round with a eye that is practically shut.
And he's not quitting. There is no quit in his heart right now. I mean, in his movements, he's not discouraged in any way. He keeps pressing forwards.
Right hand from Castellano.
You guys are built different. Wait, I'm going to put you in this too.
Oh,
you have a fight on you're on box rec. You guys are built different.
I am certainly nowhere near any of the levels, the heart, determination, skill, or dedication of these young prospects in the ring, and certainly not our co-commentator Nonito Donaire.
Well, I agree then. Yeah, you're right. You're not on that level. Right.
Oh my goodness!
Beautiful combination, uppercut, hook, overhand, you name it, coming from AK-47.
Yeah, but look at Castellano. I'll stand here and trade. I'll get in the phone booth.
Still trying to fire away, and Angel Barrientos is accepting the challenge to make him pay for those shots every single exchange. Nice lead hand to the body, but Castellano gets a little wobbly afterward there. Castellano, we talked about it earlier, he's made the choice to go southpaw here. And now has taken some punishment to the left side of his face as well. I would say he's trying to protect that eye, but it almost gives more of a reason for him to get jabbed to that lead eye if he goes southpaw there. But
I think for Barrientos, he needs to just keep sticking that jab and set everything up.
Yeah.
You know, he's just throwing so much more of bombs that it's not landing accurately as compared to setting it up.
So as we head into this 8th and final round, I mean, Dan, we're going to see. I think the doctor is making his way over the corner.
8th round. The chat says wants the fight stopped.
Yeah, I think that's the
consent to the live chat.
Yeah.
And when is a live chat ever in unison?
That's true. I know from first-hand experience that rarely happens.
I see the doctor in the other corner. The doctor's in the neutral corner.
Standing in the neutral corner, chatting with the referee. I don't know if that's what we want to see. But maybe when we get to a...
Wait, they're stopping it.
Okay, that's not going to be it?
Yeah, I saw it. Wait. I saw it.
Yeah, the referee is going to wave this off. That is it, and that is all, folks.
Man.
As we have your winner right before the start of the 8th round, a stoppage win and a backflip to finish it off for AK-47 Angel Barrientos.
I got to learn how to do that backflip, man.
I got to learn how to do everything else, Nonito. That was, I mean, what a performance for this young fighter.
You got to give it up to Castellano, man. He stood standing.
Yeah, and for Barrientos, I mean, we're obviously a lot of the second half of this fight, we were talking about the eye, we're talking about the toughness of Castellano. That was because Barrientos was damn impressive with these whip-like punches, different type of looks, you know, fighting on the inside, fighting from the outside. This is a really, really good-looking 22-year-old prospect. I'd like to see more of him in the MVP ring.
Absolutely. So many options available for him and so many places he can go. And Nonito, when you see a young fighter with that kind of a fight, domination, not just a big-time knockout early, but sustained attack, sustained success, how much does that impress you?
It's very impressive because he was able to sustain his power throughout. He was just able to sustain his patience. But mainly, you know, this is something that we know he can go further. He can learn, and he's a dangerous fighter to anyone.
Absolutely. And Dan, when you see, you go 22 years old, that's his 13th win, obviously looking to move up and get right back into the action after this one. How do you move him around here?
I would have him fight a lot more often because his last fight was 8 months ago.
Yeah.
His last fight was in July. And when you're 22 years old and you have this much promise, you know, it's not easy to get dates in boxing. It's very hard, but this guy has a lot of talent. So first thing, I would more activity. You know, fight in April, fight in May. Not both months, but like one of those 2 months, and then keep this train moving.
Maybe not as hard now as maybe it's been in, you know, recent history, even before that, with, you know, all the changes coming in boxing. But regardless, I agree with you. We would want to see AK-47 back in this ring relatively soon.
Dude made his debut in 2019, and he's 22. Do the math.
Yeah.
Do the math, Wade.
Just barely a legal adult.
16?
I was going to say, I don't know when we're starting that pro career, but it's before the age of 18.
Mexico.
Well, let's go ahead and send it into the ring with our official decision is Dasha correct.
At the 3-minute mark of the 7th round, the referee has stopped this fight. Your winner by technical knockout, Angel AK-47 Barrientos.
There he is, folks. Your winner by TKO, Angel AK-47 Barrientos. And again, a great show of sportsmanship there between the two fighters. Is Castellano one of the toughest we've seen in recent memory. And gentlemen, you know, this start to the card has shown what Most Valuable Prospects 11 is. It is a showcase for young fighters. And what we're seeing right now is these young fighters on a big stage away from home perform at a high level, Dan.
Not only that, I'm looking in the ring right now. He's got Mario Barrios.
I saw that. Saw Barrios earlier today, and if anything, he was taking a page out of Barrios' book and throwing big-time shots in this fight.
This was there's the knockdown that we saw. There could have been even more knockdowns in this fight, but it wasn't for the toughness of Castellano. But what I really like from Barrientos is the timing and the speed. I think if you don't have God-given power, I think Barrientos does, but it's not like thumping power. If you have timing and you have speed, you can make up for that, Nonito.
Definitely. That's something that Barrientos is showing. He has a lot of talent, a lot of skills, a lot of power, and a lot of future ahead with bigger fights, I believe.
Bigger fights, a big future ahead of Angel Barrientos, but a bigger future ahead for a lot of fighters on this card, including one of MVP's newest signees, Tam Thibault.
Your champ is right here.
Yes. We're bringing boxing back to Canada. Like, we have so many great athletes. We had Lennox Lewis, 1 goal for Canada. We've had David Lemieux, Boutte, we've had Adonis, we've had Jean-Pascal, Lucas, Sarah. We've been on the team together, we've traveled together. It's like we're here to kind of show the world that, like, we didn't go nowhere. What's most important for me is that I progress in the way that will make me the best athlete. If my team thinks I'm ready for a world title fight within the year, I'm probably gonna take it. I don't get nervous fighting in front of the people that I love. It actually, pushes me to be better. So I'm super happy. Honestly, as soon as I step on those steps to go walk the ring, it's literally like, and we're on.
Let's go, MVP!
She's the future.
It was a really nice experience, honestly. I was very well taken care of. The team is great. Like I couldn't have made a better choice than to be here, like with you guys, especially my pro debut. We think of these big boxing shows, and we always see them everywhere else but home. So I think the fact that we can bring them home, it'll make it more relatable to the people who are around, and it'll actually encourage people to join the sport, and that's what really we want. So that's why people should tune in. Just tune in. Canada's great, and our boxers are awesome.
And for more on Tam Thibault, let's send it over to Sibley Scholes, who's standing by with Coach Larry Wade, who spoke to Tam Thibault earlier in the locker room.
That's right, Coach. You got some FaceTime with Tam, not just recently, today, and also got a chance to talk to her coach as well to find out what we're going to see in that ring tonight. What were they saying?
So I talked to the two-time Olympian from Canada, and she was very poised in the back, very calm, prepared for this moment. She's very excited. She understands the dangers of being in that ring, so she takes it very seriously. And at the same time, she has huge respect for the young lady across the ring from her. But her coach is saying he wants to really see her continue to grow, work on her jab, use her distance range, the things that she's developing as a pro and that she'll come successful today.
I think it's going to be a great one, and she's got, like you said, taking on Dreiling. So we're going to see what those two ladies bring in that ring tonight.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great fight, I promise you.
Thanks, Coach. Back to you guys.
Again, a fantastic prospect for Canadians women's boxing with Tam Thibault, but another Canadian women's champion we have on this card, the fastest Canadian to grab a belt in the country's history, Sarah Bailey, 5 wins, 0 losses. She is looking to not only put on a show in this co-main event tonight, but put on for the entire country.
Feeling fantastic. Fighting for my 3rd world title fight in 10 months, so I'm excited. It was quite neat. Everyone noticed that the smile wiped off pretty quick because I just keep thinking what's next and on to the next. So for me, I'm not satisfied until I collect all 4 belts. I know that she's tough. Everyone that comes to fight me specifically, because I have the world title, they're coming to win, they're coming to take that title off of me. I think my boxing IQ is second to none, and I don't think she'll even know what to do once I get in the ring. Lucas is so much fun. He brings the energy to every training session. There's always laughs. He's such a giggly guy, and it's a lot of fun. It was epic. I've never seen a knockout like that before, and I thought he was gonna knock him out. Not like that. I was just so happy for Lucas because he deserves it so much. He had worked so hard up until that point. Hoping all goes well with me and my health is okay. As soon as I'm cleared from the doctor, I'm gonna be changing into my team body stuff, and I'm right there for him, and it's all about Lucas then. I think he's gonna have a very viral moment again. It's on home base here where I'm comfortable fighting, my fans are here, and it's just a great way to expose the talent that we have in Canada. I hope that it really opens up more opportunities for possibly MVP to come back to Canada.
It's a Canadian takeover here in Toronto. Dan Canobio, you saw the three of the stars of this country standing together there, but the only one with gold right now is Sarah Bailey.
Yeah, Sarah Bailey, not only that, she's going to be in the corner of Lucas Bahdi. But first, she's going to take care of business. She talked about 3 title fights. She's defended twice. And how about becoming a world champion in just 4 fights? That is taking advantage of what you have in women's boxing. And Sarah Bailey, from everything you saw there too, is not satisfied with just a few wins. She's like on to the next.
She's looking to move on to the next one. But before we get there, we have the rest of your main card, starting with Tam Thibault versus Sonia Dreiling in a 6-round middleweight fight, followed by Mark Smither versus Jaime Cuesta in an 8-round super lightweight fight. Then we have that awesome co-main event, Sarah Bailey defending her WBA light flyweight world title versus Christina Navarro in that main event you all want to see. Prince Lucas Bahdi taking on Ryan the Untouchable Racaza. But our main event of the preliminary card is next up, folks, in our tail of the tape for Donai Foreman versus Paweł Orednik is next up. Obviously a massive weight difference there. Heavyweights, doesn't really matter. We're getting big boys going at it. 6 rounds in this main event. Stay tuned. It's coming right now.
Making his way to the red corner from Ustinad, Labem, Czech Republic, Paweł Orednik.
Paweł Orednik has been stoic all week, Dan. I don't know if that's because he is so far away from home in his native, let me try this out, Ustinad Labem, Czech Republic. How'd I do, guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I'll take it. He's been stoic, though. He's been ready to go. Obviously 4-0. I don't really know what we'll see from him, but all we've seen from him so far is knockout city.
Yeah, and all, like, majority of them in the very first round. 3 first-round knockouts here for Orednik.
Can he repeat tonight? We're about to find out.
And his opponent making his way to the blue corner from Brampton, Ontario,
Folks, you hear the reception for Donai Foreman. He's got some personality, he's got some wiggle in those hips, but more importantly, he's got the people here in Toronto on his side.
Everybody's on their feet.
Everybody except us, and I thought you were about to jump up there,
I was.
Nito, and get your dance on, but listen, he's looking to turn the tide. His second professional fight, he's 1-0 with 1 knockout. It's going to be a tough opponent in front of him. Can he get it done in front of a home crowd? Let's find out.
This next bout is set for 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. Sponsored by Celsius, Live Fit Essential Energy, Fansly. Head over to fansly.com/MVP for exclusive event content and more of our beautiful ring card models. And Carib Royale, Orlando. Our judges are Alan Davis, Jasper Kufetsky, and Jeremy Hayes. Our referee is Floyd Porter. Introducing first, fighting to my left in the red corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, with an official weighing of 229.8 pounds and an undefeated record of 4 victories. Those 4 victories were by knockout. From Ustinad Labem, Czech Republic, Paweł Orednik. And his opponent, fighting to my right in the blue corner, wearing black and gold trunks with an official weighing of 250 pounds and an undefeated record. That victory was by knockout from Brampton, Ontario, Donai Foreman.
Gentlemen, you were given your instructions in the changing room. I expect you to obey those instructions, listen for my commands at all times. Remember to protect yourselves at all times. Belt line here is good. Belt line here is good. Touch gloves now if you wish. Go back to your corner. Listen for the bell.
Here we go, our heavyweight main event of the preliminary card. Don I. Foreman versus Powell or Rednick. 6 rounds. And we are getting it started right now.
Wait, you want to place a side wager? Will we see a 3rd round?
It's going to be an interesting bout. I don't know too much about how long it's going, but it's starting with a fever pitch.
They're going at it right now.
5 combined fights here for these guys, for these men. All knockouts. Knockout wins.
Rednick starting with his jab. Don I. Foreman looking to level change, then come back upstairs.
Good overhand.
Swinging some big blows to start here.
So we're seeing, like, from a Rednick, we're seeing like a little bit of technique here, right? Like he's fighting behind his jab. Where with Foreman, a little more unconventional athleticism. Would you guys say that?
Definitely a great athlete, Don I. Foreman. Played a couple of different sports growing up, but what you're seeing, Dan, is I would say pretty accurate. You're seeing Rednick try to work behind his jab, and to be fair, Don I. Foreman level changing and getting behind his now as well. Big shots there from Foreman.
He's showboating with the tongue out.
He's feeling it.
Be careful, man.
Yeah. Anything can happen with the heavyweights, man. You know.
Lydia, when you're fighting with a crowd behind you, how hard is it not to listen to the crowd? Where almost a minute in, and I feel like Foreman was listening and throwing the tongue out.
Yeah, so I think that's the difference between you get guys like Barrientos and Bray and myself who don't listen to the crowd at all. We don't hear anything, but the only thing we have are our thoughts. That's it.
Maybe the corner.
Yeah, the corner as well.
I'll tell you what, Don I. Foreman is showing some great level changes here.
Well, he's bringing the action. Rednick's got the experience, but it's Foreman who's coming forward.
Look at that head movement, in and out movement here from Don I. Foreman. He goes to the body. Stairs, a big knockdown for Don I. Foreman here. Rednick hits the canvas. Chin checked.
That was something that I wanted to say was the overhand. I believe that was something that was going to land.
He went down hard. Big man fall hard.
That was the bigger they are, I guess, the harder they fall. And that is true.
And he went to bam, straight down.
Rednick
but he has to be watching out still.
Really hurt.
A lot of time left.
Don I. Foreman, listen, that wasn't just athleticism and power. That was a setup. With those jabs to the body and then the overhand right. Now he's looking for big clubbing blows. Rednick on the ropes, and he takes another big one and another right hand. He's on wobbly legs, and he goes down again.
Foreman dance.
Foreman is dancing.
Don I. Foreman is hitting a dance as he waits for Rednick to get to his feet, and he does. That's an 8 count. 12 more seconds in this round. He looks to his corner. Referee's going to allow it to continue. The crowd is behind Don I. Foreman as he attacks again. And there's the end of the round. My goodness, barely escaping the round.
Saved by the bell, folks. Gotta love heavyweights.
My goodness gracious. The crowd has erupted here in Toronto.
That overhand, he went hard on that first one. That first one, he just went boom. Heavy.
The great Canadian casino is placing their bets, and they're doing it on the hometown boy. And Don I. Foreman, look at these shots, gentlemen. It wasn't just the right hand.
He went
perfect shot.
He went out hard on that one.
But Nonito, it's set up with the work to the body early. Goes downstairs and then boom.
Right in front of us. And we're talking about, is he showboating too much? Is he listening to the crowd too much? It doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe we should stop criticizing Foreman. Everyone has a different style.
There's another big right hand that started the second knockdown of the round. And one-way traffic is an understatement, but here in round 2, can Powell or Rednick try to turn the tide and get the cobwebs out? It's been all Don I. Foreman.
We'll see if he recovered. But Donai Foreman has to go and do the same thing, which is to crouch down a little bit and then come up to attack on top.
And that jab to the body, Nonito.
It's a great technique if you're the shorter fighter, Foreman. Like, you think of Mike Tyson, right? With the peekaboo and the level changes.
Oh, and again.
He swarms right here in front of us. Orednik gets hit with another big shot, and he's on wobbly legs.
The sweats are flying on my glasses.
Foreman's taking it to him here in the corner.
He's going to throw that overhand. I can see it already. He's setting it up.
He's got it cocked and ready to go.
Good patience shown out of the Canadian as Foreman looks to size up Orednik once again.
I will say that, as much as he's playing to the crowd and he's very excited, he's also patient too. That's a really good attribute to have as a heavyweight.
The right hand gets through. Orednik swings and misses his own right hand. Got to be careful trading there for either fighter. And again, Foreman lands a big one. It just feels like it's one.
Good body shot by Foreman.
One big shot away from really taking this thing home is Donai Foreman. There's a nice right hand, but again, you're seeing Orednik with his hands down, looking to trade in some of these exchanges.
Yeah, the hands are down, which I don't like. The chin is up, which is not a good thing. He's already touched the canvas twice in this fight.
Right back on the stick is Donai Foreman. Pumping that jab out.
This is why, no matter what, everyone loves heavyweight boxing.
Oh, another big jab.
We might not know much about Donai Foreman. We might not know much about his opponent. But we're all waiting for a big knockdown, a big knockout. That's the beauty of heavyweight boxing.
A minute left here in round number 2. And credit to Orednik for answering the call on both of those knockdowns in round 1.
Beautiful jab to the body. Now he just needs to come up with overhands. That's exactly what I was going to look at for.
You called it, Flash, and it landed maybe not as clean as it did in round 1, and Orednik saw it maybe on the tail end, and he turns Foreman here in the corner, and he's looking to throw his own shot.
Well, Flash, you think you should throw that overhand more?
Oh, 100%. But he has to set it up all with the jab, or else he'll get countered every time, because Orednik is a 1-2 kind of guy, 1-2 kind of guy. And sometimes he'll throw a left hook or an uppercut in there to set him up with that jab to the body is the key for Foreman to land his big shots after that.
There's the overhand, left hook, right hand, and Orednik stumbles into the corner. Foreman looking to tee off and finish this fight. There's a right hand that sneaks through, but Orednik tries to answer. He's still on shaky legs.
Well,
we end of round 2.
I guess we're going to see a round 3. You didn't take the wager.
I didn't take it. I beat you last night on the Laker game, so I'll call it even. But that's round 2 again. Foreman having all the success in the world, but I want to ask you something, Flash. As we get later and later into this fight, if Orednik's legs continue to hold up, could this thing potentially get a little crazy?
I doubt that he'll be able to hold up after landing so many punches, pegging in so many punches from Foreman. You just don't recover. You know, if it was a round that he just dropped and then came back up and didn't really get hit, every round that we've seen, he's gotten hit, he's gotten hurt. So I don't think there's a possibility of him recovering, but being a heavyweight.
Yes, exactly. Flash only takes one punch.
Things can land, and that's it. It all takes that.
All it takes is one punch. So if Foreman shows one sign of slippage or gets tired, puts his hands down, we could see this fight change.
100%.
Round
that's the thing about heavyweights is they don't need the legs. They just need to land a big shot, and that's it.
And we're trading on the inside, and if you are the corner of Orednik, it's not something you want to see your fighter doing, as every time he's traded in the exchange, he's been caught with big punches.
Again,
Foreman once again looking to set it up off the jab, Nonito.
That's right, jab to the body and then overhand. That's all he needs to do. It's landing because Orednik.
Oh, big shot again from Donai Foreman.
What I'm saying.
I'm gonna ask you something, Flesh. Why does Orednik have his hand on on the wrong side? It's not protecting from the overhand right.
Because he likes to throw those jabs from underneath. You see how his jab is coming in from underneath.
Right.
That sets up his straight a little bit, but it's so susceptible to getting hit with that overhand.
Right? I mean, Foreman's looking to land the right, and it's wide open. Rednick's covering up the right side.
Another right hand. He's out on his feet. He goes down. Oh, my goodness and gentlemen, I don't think he's getting up this time. Referee waves it off. And that is it. Donai Foreman in his home country right here in the 6th.
There we go.
Hits his dancey dance and wins in grand fashion. Wow. What a shot and what a performance for Donai Foreman here. Crowd jitters, nada. Worried about the environment, nada. Put on a show in front of his home fans.
That was incredible. I gotta say, that was incredible.
Dude, the heavyweights, when it goes right, it's amazing. There's electricity that goes through this entire venue when they start throwing like that. I've seen some terrible heavyweight fights, don't get me wrong, but Donai Foreman came out and entertained from the minute he stepped on that stage. As you take a look at some of these highlights, the level changes like you talked about, Wade, and there's that right hand that got the attention, and it was all downhill from there.
That was the beginning of the end, and it just seemed like clockwork. As soon as he went to the body with that jab, Nonito, the right hand upstairs was open every single time.
And he saw that. He saw that, and that's why when he landed that straight, he just knew that every single time he throws it to set him up to that body, there was an opening to the top.
Emphatic fashion for Donai Foreman. And again, just his second fight as a professional, 29 years old. Dan, what do you see for a heavyweight like this with so much power and so much charisma?
It's hard to say because I want to see some better competition, but he's got a lot of charisma. That's a good thing in this sport. There's a void when it comes to heavyweight boxing in America, American stars, but who knows? I mean, I've seen crazier stories in boxing, especially heavyweight division. We've seen guys come on late. 29 years old is a little late, but like you said, Nonito, you could be fighting to your 40s as a heavyweight. The last thing to go is power, so I'm optimistic about Foreman.
That performance, it's hard to think anything else but optimism and devastation. Again, sometimes, Nonito, it's a very basic sport sometimes. When you look at a fight and we maybe overcomplicate it with, oh my goodness, how many scenarios can happen? The most basic fundamentals, in this case, one, Donai Foreman this fight. A jab, head off center line, and then a right hand behind it after you blind or change levels. It's that simple sometimes.
It was very simple, and it was very textbook. That was very textbook of Foreman, and his opponent fell for it like a textbook too, as well.
He made his opponent fall, but now we go into the ring. Dasha Corrett has our official decision.
At the 1 minute and 15-second mark of the third round, your referee has ruled this bout as a knockout. Your winner, Donai Foreman!
Your winner by knockout, Donai Foreman. He impresses right here in the 6th, but he is standing by with Sibley's goals after this highlight that we have showcasing again what it means to Donai Foreman. He's showing off for the fans, but then when the ring was entered, the business was handled. What a right hand, and again, effortless with that one, but the power really showed in every single shot.
Yes, every single shot was heavy.
I mean, I give Rednick credit. I mean, that first knockdown was so powerful. Exactly. Like, that was the most powerful of them all. And I give him credit for standing there and trading. But it was all Donai Foreman. I'm impressed. I want to see him fight again. I mean, he's super entertaining.
He's fun. He's very, very fun.
Exactly. Boxing should be fun.
Absolutely should be. But now, Sibley Scholes is standing by with your winner, Donai Foreman.
Donai Foreman, old Canada. Did you hear the crowd?
Yo, I heard them. Shout out to all my people from Brampton and GTA. What's good, y'all? We out here. We out here.
Now, just to reiterate, how many pro fights have you had?
2.
You say it's so easy. 2? and you're showing it how it's done right here in your hometown. How does it feel to hear that love that everyone's giving you while you're in this ring?
Again, I can't get enough of it. Like, these are my people. I'm going to say hi to them right after this. All right? Yo, it's electric, for sure.
When he went down the first time, what was going through your mind? You just knew you had to finish it, right?
I felt like that Pereira meme. You know what I'm saying? You seen Pereira? I felt like that. I was like, do you see this? Do you see this? When you come against me, you get dropped.
So that was, you knew it. You knew it was happening.
Yeah, I'm like, it is what it is.
Now, did you hear that for a second? They're not just cheering for you. They're chanting your name. Did you hear that?
I heard it. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm not going to...
How special is it? Again, you know, I was talking to Coach Larry Wade about being from your hometown and then getting in that ring. It could go one of two ways. It could help you, motivate you, and do what you did here tonight in this ring, or it can be nerve-wracking because you feel like you got a lot on your shoulders that you have to prove in here.
What nerves? I said I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
The confidence is only going to continue to build from here. Where do you see what you're building with your career?
Can you repeat that real quick?
The confidence is only going to grow from here, but where do you see your career moving on from here, and how do you want to continue to make an impact in this sport?
I'm going to go to the top. I see those guys at the top. I want that. I'm pretty sure my people want that too.
What do you got to say to everybody out there knowing this is only number 2 for you, and it's like dirt off the shoulders? You're ready. You're barely sweating.
I stay pretty. I'd like to shout out to my sponsors. Make sure you get the shorts and everything like that. Shout out to my sponsors for supporting me. Shout out to all my friends and family that came out to see me. Yo, we taking over the world for sure. For sure.
Don I-Foreman, Canada, give it up for your winner.
There he is, your winner once again, Don I-Foreman, in the main event of our preliminary card. But folks, still to come, we have our main card here at Most Valuable Prospects 11, starting with a 6-round middleweight matchup between Tam Thibault and Sonia Dreiling, then followed by an 8-round super lightweight bout between Mark Smither and Jaime Cuesta. Heading into our co-main event, a 10-round WBA light flyweight world title fight. Your champion, Sarah Bailey, takes on the challenger, Christina Navarro, and then our main event, the one you came to see, the 10-round lightweight matchup between Canada's own Lucas Bahdi and Ryan Racaza. That fight you do not want to miss.
Where am I looking?
Totally dialed!
Oh, Tim Hortons coffee, of course, man. It's the Canadian way. I think it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. The Canadian crowd, they come out to support, wherever I fight. So I think now having it here in Toronto, it's going to get everyone very excited, and I think it's going to be an amazing crowd. This is a big opportunity for Racaza. He's fighting me in my hometown. He gets the opportunity that I got last July to try to steal my thunder.
Right from Bahdi.
I think I do everything better than him. I think I got the better IQ, the better power, better speed, better timing. I'm going to be winning by knockout for sure.
That was a little hard, wasn't it?
It's exciting. It's exciting because the World Championship fights is my main goal. I'd like Gervonta Davis. I know what it takes to beat Tank. Look, everyone's beatable. Hittable is beatable. I thought Lamont Roach won the fight. I didn't think Tank deserved even a draw, especially with that knee he took. And if Lamont took that knee, that's a knockdown. We're only a couple steps away. So this is a big opportunity for me, fighting in my hometown, fighting on DAZN, and fighting under a big umbrella like MVP.
That is our main event of the evening. Prince Lucas Bahdi versus Ryan the Untouchable Racaza. And Dan, we've talked about the story of Lucas Bahdi, how he essentially beat the man that was on MVP, H2O Silv. What a knockout it was, the knockout of the year in 2024. And the MVP said, well, listen, you can't beat him, sign him. They brought him in. Talk to me about how much this means tonight.
This means a lot. I mean, we're talking to them in fighter meetings, and it's one thing to get those wins, and they're very important, but it's something about fighting in your hometown. especially for Lucas Bahdi, who I believe is on the precipice of some really big fights. He's ranked top 10 in all 4 organizations. He makes it very clear that he wants the biggest names in lightweight. Lightweight is one of the best divisions in boxing, but I'll say this, Nonito, he's going up against an opponent in Racaza that has nothing to lose, is a power puncher, and comes forward. He wants what Bahdi has, right?
I mean, this is the biggest opportunity that he will ever have in his life. And for him, like he told me, I'm going to go in there. No matter what, I'm going to give it all I got. He said he's nervous, but this is something that I will never let go of. I will do the best that I can.
We talked about both the fighters and their styles. This is what makes for a great main event. We're talking about guys that come to knock people out. Not just Lucas Bahdi at 18-0 with 15 knockouts, but Ryan Racaza at 15-0 with 11 knockouts. I have a feeling we're going to get a war in this main event.
I believe so as well. I think Bahdi has shown a lot of things. He's shown us that he has one-punch knockout power, obviously, against